Huh? So we didn't find the time to sleep, all those things. Huh? Everything fine, na? What was the last topic we did before left? Dividend, na? So what are the sections we have done? 123. So we'll proceed with remaining section immediately. Then we'll cover the other remaining sections. Then we'll directly jump to NOCLAR, then professional ethics, and then we'll move to the peer review. Okay? Okay. Chale? Okay. Now, today we have to first start with the section number 124, 125 and 126. Before that, quickly let's revise what we have done yesterday. So yesterday I told you that there are two types of dividend. One is final and what? Interim. Can you please tell me the provisions relating to interim dividend? What are the provisions relating to interim dividend? First of all, that dividend is both declared and recommended by whom? Board. Can it be revoked? Yes. What is the rate? Any rate. Unless there is a problem. What is the problem? From the date of the declaration of interim dividend, if up to the what? Preceding quarter, company is suffering what? Losses. Then the rate of the dividend shall not be more than average of last 3 years. But what is the rule number 1 and 2 we understood? What loss we have to see? We have to see the loss of that particular quarter, or we have to see the loss up to the quarters, up to the financial year quarters. And second thing what we have to understand, if there is in the last 3 years if there is no rate of dividend declared, then we have to take it as a 0, but our average will still remain what? 3. Okay? Now section number 124, 125 and 127, you will do it in one sequence. Now how you will cover these sections? Now it's a very simple thing. Try to understand. Dividend is always recommended at what? Board. First of all, please tell me why board only recommends the dividend, why not shareholder? The one who is running the organization is known as what? Board of Director. So they are very much well versed with the knowledge of the company. So they are the one who recommends what? Dividend. And remember, the rate which is recommended by the board cannot be increased by whom? Shareholder. Shareholders either can confirm the rate or they can reduce the rate, but they are not allowed to increase the rate. That's why recommendation is always given in the hands of whom? Board of Directors. Now, once the board of directors will recommend the dividend, after that, which meeting will happen? AGM में recommendation happens or declaration? So, where recommendation happens? Board meeting. And where the declaration happens? Now, once it is declared in the AGM, then you have to understand that you are not allowed to pay the amount of the dividend from your own bank account. You have to go to a scheduled bank. You have to open one bank account called dividend account. What is the name of the account? And all that has to be done within 5 days of what? Declaration. You have to make sure that the chunk of money which you are declaring in the form of what? Dividend must be transferred from the company's bank account to which account? Dividend account. Right or not? And from the dividend account, the dividend will be distributed to the members. Are you getting the point? There are two ways of paying the dividend. One is directly you are transferring to the account of the shareholder. Second is you are sending them the dividend warrants. What are the two methods? See, if you have a demat account, then directly it will be given to your demat account, linked savings bank account. Second thing, if you do not have a demat account and you are a share warrant holder, you will be getting the dividend warrants. So either it will be posted to you or it will be credited to your account within 30 days of declaration. What is the time period of declaration? 30 days. So remember, dividend declaration does not start after opening of the account. Dividend declaration starts from the date of AGM. Are you getting now? Within 30 days, you have to open the account also. And you have to make sure that within 30 days, the amount is being credited to your account or posted to your place. Within how many days? 30 days. That is called which account, everyone? Dividend account. Now, dividend you can pay via check or demand draft, online transfer or ECS. Cash dividend is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Next one. If within 30 days, the company fails to pay you the dividend or fails to post the dividend to your places, then section number 127 will apply. What is 127? Penalty on the company. So if the company fails and it is a company's fault, whose fault? If it is shareholders' fault, section number 127 will not apply. If it is a company's fault, section number 127 will apply. And what the section number 127 says that the company will end up paying the interest at the rate of what? 18%, and every officer in default will end up paying the fine at the rate of what? 1,000 rupees per day plus imprisonment up to how many years? 2 years. This is where it is written. Section number 127. So what are the two sections we are done with? 123 and 127. Quickly revise. Dividend is recommended where? Board meeting. Declared where? Can the shareholder increase it? Can they confirm it? Can they reduce it? Can dividend be paid in cash? How many days we have to pay the dividend? 30 days. From the date of declaration. But opening of the account is additional 5 days or within those 30 days. Generally, company kept it open before declaration only because they know that they can't pay it out of their own account. So they will keep it open. Am I correct? And amount will be transferred and dividend will be paid. Next thing is what? What if the dividend is not paid by the company's fault within 30 days? What will happen? 127 will apply. What is 127 says? Penalty. On the company, how much? 18% rate of interest plus officer in default 1000 rupees per day plus imprisonment up to how many years? 2 years. Now, question is, sir, 30 days are over and say for example 90% of the dividend is paid and posted, but remaining 10% is left out. Company fails to pay the 10%. Now, what the company will do? Company will open a new bank account. What is a new bank account called? Unpaid dividend account. But to that section will come at the later stage. There are some circumstances under which you should know that section number 127 does not apply. Circumstance number 1. If the shareholder gave the instructions to the company for the dividend, but it was not fulfilled and the company already informed such to that shareholder. Say for example, one of the shareholders said that, sir, please send me the dividend via check. I don't have the internet banking and I don't know how to see and all those things. I'm an illiterate fellow. Please send me the dividend via what? Check. Company sent the dividend to your address via check, but check came back because it bounced back because at that available address no one was staying. Now you gave the instructions to the company. Company fulfilled also, but company was successful or unsuccessful. But whose fault? Shareholder's fault. And company also informed you the same. If we tried to fulfill your instructions, but you are not available that address, in that case 127 will apply or will not apply? Will not apply. Second reason, when the dividend was not paid under the which law? Operation of law. Say for example, you are a Vijay Mallya. You know that against the Vijay Mallya, garnishee order is there in India. Have you ever heard a word called garnishee order? Garnishee order means your all the accounts will be what? Freeze. Nothing can come inside the account. Nothing can go outside from your account. So garnishee order may, say for example, she is a Vijay Mallya, just an example, and I dropped the dividend into her account. But due to the garnishee order, the dividend will bounce back. Now, is it my fault as a company or shareholder's fault? And why she is not able to get the dividend? Under what? 127 will apply or will not apply? Will not apply. Next one. Dividend is disputed on the title of the recipient. Say for example, the person to whom the dividend is to be given is under a dispute. His ownership is not clear. Still court case is pending. So sorry boss, company will keep it on hold and company will not pay you the dividend even though 30 days are over. In that case, 127 will apply or will not apply? Tell me the 3 cases where 127 will not apply so far. Shareholders gave the instructions, you followed it, but it was not fulfilled and you informed it to whom? Shareholder. Second, under the operation of law. Third, title is under the dispute. And what is the fourth one? When the dividend was adjusted or set off against what? Indebtedness. You were pending to pay me calls in areas. I am about to pay you what? Dividend. You were paying me 1 lakh of calls in areas which were pending and I have to pay you 1 lakh of what? Dividend. It can be set off. So company did the set off. You owe me and I owe you. The amount is what? Same. So company completely set off the what? Dividend. Company has a right or no right? Has a right. In that case, the shareholder cannot claim the company that 127 should be applied on the company and company should be penalized. And what is the fourth case? Any other which ground? Reasonable ground. So this is one of the exceptional question which they may ask you in the examination. Did you get the point? Tell me the 5 areas where 127 will not apply. Shareholder instruction not fulfilled and we informed him. Second, under the operation of law. Third, dispute, properties under the dispute. Fourth, set off. And fifth one is any other reasonable. So that brings an end to your section number what? 127. 123 we already did. Now 124, now let's continue where we left. Now 30 days are over, 90% of the dividend is paid, 10% is unpaid. So what we'll do, within the 7 working days, within how many days? From the end of the 30 days, in the next 7 working days, we'll open one new bank account called unpaid dividend account under section number 124 and we'll transfer the total funds to which account? Unpaid dividend account. For the next how many years? 7 years. So what is the validity of that account? 7 years from when? That is the MCQ question they will ask. Please tell me. Just now you understood the validity of that account is how many years? 7. 7 years from the date of opening or 7 years from the date of declaration? 7 years from the date of what? Declaration. Not from the date of what? Opening. It means your already 30 days are over. 30 days plus 7 days working days are over. So it is not 7 years from the date of opening. It is 7 years from the date of what? Declaration. But what does 124 says? Now look at this. If there is no payment of the dividend in the dividend account after 30 days of declaration of dividend, if the still amount is unpaid dividend in the dividend account, then the dividend account shall be closed. And in the next how many days? 7 working days, company shall open another bank account in the name of the company. What is the name of the account? Unpaid and unclaimed dividend account, and which is having a validity of 7 years from when? And that is called section number what? 124. But remember, if within 7 days we do not transfer the money, then company will end up paying another penalty at the rate of what? 12%. In that account also, if you are not able to transfer within 7 days, then also company has to pay the how much rate of interest? 12%. Now see, once the dividend account is closed, we know that this account has to be opened within how many days? 7 days. On the failure of transfer within this 7 days, company shall pay interest at the rate of what? 12%. Now, after the transfer to this account, now so many shareholders did not claim, it's been 30-40 days. So in the next 30 days from the date of transfer, company will generate one list of shareholders whose dividend is what? Pending. And they will upload it on their website and the central government website. This is your name, this is your amount, and this is your address. Please come and claim your what? Dividend. It has to be done within how many days? 90 days. We actually do this process 2 times. One is within 90 days and one is 90 days before the closure of this account. When we do this? First time when we do? After opening the account within how many days? 90 days. And second time when we do? 3 months before the closure of this account. It means 6 years and 9 months are what? Over. And then we have to do this again. But let's do the first thing. So we did the first thing. We generated a list. List contains your 3 things. What are the 3 things? Name, address, and amount outstanding. To be published on its own website as well as the central government website. What is the validity of this account? 7 years. At least 3 months before the closure of this account, again the company has to prepare the same updated list and again has to be updated on its own website and the central government website. My question is why? Why we are doing the same action 2 times? What is the reason? We are doing the same action 2 times. Reason is very simple. Between first action to second action, so many people might have taken the dividend. So many might have claimed. So dividend amount will remain same or it will go down. So it will be a updated list. It will be a which list? Because this is a last warning to you कि boss, now तो you have a time to claim your money from the which account? 124 unpaid account. But once this 7 years will be over, within 30 days from the close of this account, you have to transfer this fund to IEPF. There comes the section number 143 subsection 3 linking clause number J now. Do you remember yesterday? What was the C subclause in the J we have done? There is no delay in transferring the funds from unpaid dividend account to IEPF. That delay is this only. You only have how many days to transfer? 30 days to transfer. If say for example, you are doing 37 days time. How many days? So it means 7 days extra you have taken. So 143 subsection 3 clause J subclause C may you have to inform that ki yes, there is a delay in transferring the funds from unpaid account to what? IEPF. Did you get the point or not? So please tell me how many days you have to open a unpaid account? 7 working days. How many days you have to transfer the funds to IEPF? 30 days. So to open unpaid account is how many days? 7. And to transfer to IEPF how many days? 30 days. Are you getting the point? And otherwise 143 subsection 3 will apply. Now the question arises, sir, what will happen to my amount if it will go to IEPF? See, up to unpaid dividend account, it was under the control of the company. I can simply go to the company, show my proof, and company will pay me the dividend. What will happen after the money will be transferred to where? IEPF. Now, company is no longer under control. You will go to the IEPF authority. You will apply electronically under IEPF 5 form number. What is the form number? IEPF. You are claiming that I am a rightful claimant. What is the word you have to use? Okay, this dividend belongs to me. Obviously, IEPF does not have your records. IEPF will send your case back to where? Company. Okay, please cross verify and tell me, is he a rightful claimant or not? Within 15 days, company will inform it back to whom? IEPF. Okay, yes, he is a what? Rightful claimant, or he is not a rightful claimant. If you are not a rightful claimant, application will be rejected. But if you are a rightful claimant, your dividend amount will be released and your securities also will be released. Sir, what do you mean by security? Dividend amount, we know. Remember, when the money goes to your IPF, they assume you to be a dormant shareholder. Which shareholder? Not only your dividend amount will be transferred to IPF, your securities lying in your demat account will also be freezed and will be transferred to IEPF demat account. What is the name of that account? After IEPF 5 rightful claimant application is successful, then your amount also will be released and your securities also will be released. This is what section number 125 talks about. So please tell me, did you understand the sequence? 123 mein what we learned? Dividend, sources, adjustments, and what if we are using FR? What is FR? Can you please tell me the 4 conditions to be satisfied if we are using FR? First of all, when do we use FR? When you have sufficient or insufficient funds, or you are incurring the losses. So what is the condition number 1? Rate of dividend shall not be more than average of last. Second, how much you can withdraw? 10% of the total paid up share capital plus free rate. After withdrawal, how much should be left? And what is the first thing you need to do? First, adjust the which year losses. Current. Can you adjust the brought forward also? Yes, you can adjust the brought forward also, but to an extent. Losses of those years to be compared with depreciation of those loss making years. Which is it clear to all of you? Yeah, so we sorted everything. So what are the sections we are done with? 123, 124, 125 and 127. Now we are left with only one section, that is called what? 126. Boss simple sa section hai. 1 minute section. Listen. I am a transferor and she is a transferee. I sold my shares to her. Am I correct? Now what has happened? Generally, if it is a demat account, transfer must take place between T plus 2 days. Am I correct or no? Maximum how many hours? 48 hours. Within 48 hours, transfer will take place. But if it is a physical securities ka case or non-demat transaction, company generally takes 60 days to transfer. How many days? Say for example, more than 60 days has happened. Neither the shares are coming in her ownership. And I already got my money. She already paid me the money. I am a seller. But when I surrendered my share certificates to her, so far she did not get the shares in her name. Please tell me, in the register of members, whose name is still mentioned? My name. Are you getting? But am I the rightful owner now? She is the beneficial owner. So there is a dispute going on and unnecessary delay is happening. If this kind of situation happens, company generally takes the precaution. What is the precaution? Company withhold the dividend payment. What they will do? That amount of dividend, neither they will pay it to me, nor they will pay it to you. They will transfer it to one account called unpaid dividend account under section number 125. Till the time what is not clear? Ownership is not clear. Second method, they can directly pay it to her, but after taking NOC from the transferor. After taking what? If I don't have any problem and I give it in writing, okay, I don't have any problem, I got my bloody money, I don't have any issue if you transfer the money to your transferee, then in that case, money can come to you. Otherwise, the money will be kept in which account? Unpaid. That is called section number what? 126. So as I told you yesterday, dividend chapter we will do. What are the sections we are done with? Ab batao, what is 123? Remaining section याद है? कारो याद है all? 21 to 1. पक्का? Repeat. 21 to 1. What is 21? CFS. Okay. What is 14? Internal audit system. What is 14? Internal audit. 8? Unrecorded. 2? Inventory. 11? Fraud report. Okay. Sequence में पूछ लेता हूँ. I know that is better. 21 क्या था? CFS का adverse remarks. Okay. What was 20? CSR. Then what was 19? Ability to pay liabilities. 18? Resignation by statutory. What was 17? 16? NBFC. 15? अभी देखा फट 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 आंसर आ रहा ना. What is 15? 14? 13? 12? Now fast हो जाओ. 12? निधि. 11? 10? Application of funds. 9? Default in repayment of borrowings. 8? Unrecorded. 7? 6? 4? Deposits are 5. 4 is what? Compliance of 185, 186. 3. Related party loans. 2. Inventory. First. PP. And you know that private limited wala everything concept. So कारों में तो no problem. Dividend chapter में भी no problem. Now I wanted to tell you the 3 sections before starting the professional ethics and NOCLA today and the peer review. ठीक है? Now what are the 3 sections I want to tell you? 134, 135 and 132. These 3 sections from the books of accounts part is highly important. In the remaining section, I will just make you go through the sections so that you can have a look of those sections. Now, there is one, I hope you got the link as well, everyone. Link मिला है नहीं मिला? अभी तक नहीं दिया. अनिल सर के पास है, जाके ले लेना. Yesterday again I sent it in the evening as you asked him. So I sent him again. Okay, get the link from there. Now we are going to do the highly important. देखो, there is one link in which you will find this file. In this file, you will find all the sections from 128 to 137. Now look at the link what we have done. 138 to 148 we are already done. 123 to 127 just now we are eliminated. And what is just now I am sharing with you is 128 to what? 137. In this I am only going to take care of the 3 sections because they are highly important. Came with what? Amendments. Remaining all the sections you have to just go through because it is same intermediate level sections only. Books of accounts, financial statement, all those things. 3 major sections, 134, 132 and 135. I'm going to take care of that. Is it clear? Shall we start now? Now, what is the first section we have to start is 132 called NFRA. What is NFRA? Anybody is having an idea? Full form though I also know. What is NFRA? I'm not saying what NFRA stands for. What is NFRA? National Financial Reporting Authority is a central government body or state government body? Central. Why this body has been incorporated? Let me give you the true intention behind that. See, actually what has happened, ICAI since inception is making accounting standards of India, is making standards on auditing of India, standards on internal audit, standards on social audit, standards on assurance engagement, review engagement and related services and SQCs. All are known as PET standards. You might have heard this word called TPE or PET standards in peer review. What is the full form of PET? Professional, Ethical, Technical Standard. ये सब कुछ कौन बनाता है? ICAI. But ICAI was started taking the undue advantage of having this power in their hand. What happened? ICAI was favoring a lot to its, chartered accountants and fellow CAs, even if they are doing the misconducts. Who was not happy with that? Central government was not happy with that. So central government incorporated NFRA as a filter between ICAI and MCA. Now earlier ICAI directly used to give the accounting standards and standards on auditing to whom? MCA. But now there is a filter between both of them. Who is that filter? NFRA. Now whatever the ICAI has to bring any changes in the existing standards, or whenever the ICAI has to bring any new standards, now ICAI will first inform all those things to whom? NFRA. NFRA will see it, recognize it, consider it. If the NFRA thinks that they are good enough to be published, NFRA will recommend it to whom? MCA. So the link between the ICAI and MCA has been broken down by introducing the which organization? NFRA. This is a major purpose. Actually, NFRA's journey started in 2013 only when the Companies Act 2013 came. But ICAI was so powerful, semi-autonomous body, it did not allow the NFRA to come down. So finally, after few scams and scandals happened in the corporate world, then central government realized that definitely in 2018, what they brought NFRA into the picture. Now what they are saying that, now total India's companies, they have divided into 2 parts now. One is which are going to come under the control of NFRA. One is which are going to come control under ICAI. Now listen, there is one rule 3 you have to remember. What is the rule number 3? You have to remember rule 3 organizations are going to get covered under whom? NFRA. Now the question is, sir, what do you mean by going to get covered under whom? NFRA. Listen, if you are the auditor of those rule 3 companies, and those rule 3 companies also are going to get compiled by NFRA. Say for example, I am the auditor of Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance is a listed company. Listed company comes under rule 3. So under whose regulation I am? NFRA. So if I will be guilty of professional misconduct under the professional ethics, and if I'll be guilty of any other misconduct under the professional ethics, ICI will no longer take care of me. Who will take care of me now? NFRA. So 90% of the company's basket has been shifted into whose pocket? NFRA. 10% is only left for whom? I'm not saying ICI is completely empty now. ICI also has, but when I will show you the rule number 3 of NFRA, you will ultimately come to know that yes, ICI is left with chiller. And the major part has been given in the pocket of whom? NFRA. Because if you understand the rule number 3, you will understand how powerful the NFRA is now. And yesterday also I told you, there are 3 organizations who can disqualify you, ban you from practice. Point number 1, NCLT. Under section 140 subsection 5, how many years? 5 years. Court can ban you under 141 subsection 3, that is disqualification for continuously how many years? 10 years, or service of imprisonment, whichever is later, lower knee, whichever is later, whichever is higher actually. Are you getting the point? And what is the third one? NFRA. So we are going to understand a little bit about NFRA, then we'll jump into the major core part of NFRA, what NFRA does. Simple. NFRA is an institution which is basically going to monitor the professional services of whom? Auditor, in terms of quality review of service rendered. Now you can understand, India mein there are so many things which are after you now. Peer review board, quality review board, and now what? NFRA. All are interested in only one thing. What is that? Quality review. By you are a chartered accountant, you are expected to provide what? Quality. But it covers all CA, CS and CMA. All the people are covered under the NFRA. Next one. NFRA is constituted by whom? Central government. And it takes care to monitor your 2 standards. What are the 2 standards? Accounting as well as what? It means it is not keeping the eye only on CAs. It is also keeping the eyes on corporates. The corporates must follow what? Accounting standard, and chartered accountants must follow what? Both are being looked at by whom? NFRA. Next point. Composition of NFRA. Bhaiya, NFRA mein total 16%. How many people? 16. One is known as what? Chairperson, and not more than what? 15. And chairperson must be the eminent personality having a experience in these areas. What are the areas? Accounts, auditing, finance and law. And these 15 members can be part-time members as well as what? Full-time members. So in total, how many members? 16. Declaration of independence. As you all know that when we become a chartered accountant, do we maintain integrity, objectivity, independence? Same thing. All the members of NFRA are also expected to maintain the same. And not only during the job they have to maintain, even after leaving the NFRA job for the next 2 years, they have to still maintain what? Independence. It means, let me give you one example. Suppose I am the chairperson of NFRA. During NFRA, so I have to maintain what? Independent. Now, suppose her firm came under my review when I was a chairperson of what? NFRA. Today, I left NFRA. 29th March, I left what? NFRA. Up to 29th March 2025, I cannot have any kind of professional relationship with you. It means whatever the firms came under the review of whom? NFRA. The members of NFRA, after leaving NFRA also for the next how many years? 2 years. Still has to maintain what? Independence. Is it clear? That is called declaration of what? Independence. Not only during the employment, even for the next what? 2 years after ceasing the what? Office. Next point. What are the major powers of NFRA? First of all, I already told you all 3 types of auditors are covered. Let it be your secretarial auditor, cost auditor or statutory. All are covered under NFRA. Read the power number 1. What is the power number 1? Power to investigate. Now, ICA will no longer investigate your professional ethics and misconducts. Now, if you are a company auditor covered under Rule 3, so who is going to investigate your case now? NFRA. So no longer you are reporting to ICA, you will be reporting to whom? NFRA. And if the NFRA found you guilty of these two things, what are these two things? Professional misconduct or other misconduct, then NFRA, and once NFRA has initiated the investigation, ICA cannot interfere. No other body can interfere. NFRA has been given supreme powers here. Are you getting the point? Once the NFRA has started your case, nobody else can interfere. Even the courts are also not allowed. That is called power to what? Investigate. Second power is what? Power of which court? Acha, what does the judge of civil court can do? Can the judge of civil court can summon you? Can he enforce your attendance? Can he examine your oath? मैं गीता पे हाथ रख के बोलता हूँ, जो बोलूंगा सच के. All those things judge can do. Same powers have been given to whom? NFRA. That's why it is known as powers of which court? Civil court. Can you see the powers, please? What is the power number 1? Discovery and production of what? Books of account. Summoning and enforcing what? Attendance. Examining them on oath. Inspection of any books, registered document. Examining the witnesses even. And what is the major third power is what? Power to impose penalty. If you found guilty, your sole proprietor, partnership firm or LLP. If you are found guilty as a sole proprietor auditor, so bhaiya, your minimum fine is this much. What is the minimum fine? 1 lakh and maximum 5 times the fee received. What is your minimum fine? 1 lakh, maximum 5 times the fee received. And in case you are a partnership firm or LLP, then this is your minimum fine. What is the minimum fine? 10 times the fees received. Now tell me, I am a sole proprietor. What is my fine? 1 lakh to maximum 5 times. I am a partnership firm or LLP. 5 lakhs to maximum 10 times. But ban is same for both the people. Minimum how many months? 6 months. Maximum 10 years. Yesterday I told you. So please tell me what are the 3 powers of NFRA? Power to investigate, power to impose penalty, and powers of which court? Okay, next point. Sir, NFRA, if I am not satisfied with the order of NFRA, is there any higher authority where I can go and file the appeal? Answer is yes. You can go and appeal to whom? NCLAT, not NCLT. NCLT and NFRA are at same level. Higher authority is NCLAT. Full form, National Company Law Appellate Authority. Its office is located in Delhi and 16 are the members. But in case you want कि more employees should be added in NFRA, so NFRA is allowed to employ more officers and employees for the smooth functioning of whom? NFRA. Head office is where, everyone? Delhi. Books of accounts of NFRA and financial statements will be again audited by our Girish Chandra Murmu. Who is that? CNAG. Yaad hai na, Girish Chandra Murmu. Because being a central government authority, everything is under the control of whom? CNAG. The audit also will be done by whom? CNAG. And once the audit of NFRA is over, this audit report will be laid down in the front of whom? Central government. Central government will take it to the parliament, both houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Finally, it will be assented by whom? President of India. This is how the audit of NFRA takes place. So who does it? CNAG. Where it is laid down? Both houses of parliament. Who finally assents it? President of India. This is how the audit of what happens? NFRA. So this is just the introduction of the body called what? NFRA. The main points are going to come now. NFRA rules 2018. When it was notified? Read the date. 13 November 2018. Actually, rule number 3 says that if you are falling under these class of companies, you are definitely going to get covered under whom? NFRA. Now it's time for you to know under what company's auditor, if you are, you will get covered under whom? NFRA. Audit company number 1. Read the company. Listed companies. Either you are listed in or listed where? All listed companies will get governed by whom now? NFRA. Companies as well as companies auditors. Both are governed by whom? NFRA. Second point. Unlisted. And remember this list very, very importantly, because this is the same amendment you got in peer review chapter also. Are you getting the point? Remember this list. I will connect it there again when we'll do the peer review. What is the list of? What is the next companies, everyone? Unlisted. Whose any of the 3 conditions are satisfied? Condition number 1. Paid up share capital 500 crores or more. Turnover 1000 crores or more. Outstanding borrowings 500 crores or more. 5 plus 5, 1000. What is 5? Paid up share capital, outstanding borrowings, turnover is what? 1000. Any of the 3 conditions are satisfied. You are also governed under whom? NFRA. Is it clear? Third, if you are a which company? Banking, insurance, electricity, company under the which act? Or any other what? Body corporate, made under whom? Central government. You are also governed under whom? NFRA. Tell me the three now. All listed in India, all unlisted public companies whose paid up share capital is 500 crores or more, outstanding borrowing 500 crores or more, and banking, insurance, electricity, special act, or any body corporate governed by whom? Central government. Not only that, say for example, you are not covered under any of these three, but central government felt that ICA is not the right person to do your what? Investigation. Central government can refer the company from the pocket of ICA to whom? NFRA. So see, any other company, person or body corporate as referred to whom? NFRA. By the whom? Central government. In the which interest? Public interest. And not only that, foreign subsidiaries also included. Say for example, I am an Indian company. I have one foreign subsidiary. Which subsidiary? But that foreign subsidiary is contributing at least 20% in my group net worth and group income or group capital. Then in that case, that foreign subsidiary is also what? Included under whom? NFRA. Matlab their professional body will not investigate them. Who will investigate to that foreign? NFRA. But what is the condition? It must be contributing how much? 20% or more in consolidated net worth and consolidated income, or either of these two. So tell me the 5 companies under Rule 3. This is a major part you should know. All listed in India, outside India. Unlisted public company, any of the 3 conditions, 5 plus 1,000. Am I correct? Then banking, insurance, electricity, special or body corporate governed by CG. Then any other company referred by whom? CG. And fifth one, foreign subsidiary whose Indian parent is there, but that foreign subsidiary is contributing at least how much? 20% either in net income or net consolidated net worth. Is it clear everyone? तो दी अच्छा बचा क्या? चिल्लर वो किसकी पॉकेट में? आई से. बट ऐसा नहीं है. इंडिया में still there are so many companies which do not fall under any of these 5 categories. So all those will be taken care of by whom? But major cream of India has been taken away by whom? NFRA. So now actually the two bodies which are very much enemy to each other are ICAI and NFRA. Now next thing, what the NFRA basically does, I already told you it takes care of 2 things. What are the 2 things everyone? Accounting standards and standards on auditing. Okay, na? Now major things I will tell you. What are the things you have to, one very important thing. Now it has been made important that if you are an auditor of whom? Rule 3 companies. If you are the auditor of which company? Your appointment not only must be intimated to ROC via ADT1, you also have to intimate your appointment to whom? NFRA in the form number NFRA1. So your appointment must be intimated to whom? NFRA1. Did you get the point? Yes or no? Okay. So ADT1 plus NFRA1, both the forms you have to remember. Next thing. Okay. Say for example, you are no longer getting covered under rule number what? 3. You lost the criteria. Neither you are listed, nor you are unlisted, nor you are banking and all. You got uncovered from where? NFRA. Still you will be covered under NFRA for the next what? 3 years. From the date of seizing also. So it means NFRA still can keep an eye on you, can take the action on you even after seizing to be under the rule number 3 for the next how many years? 3 years. This is one of the very important point you should know. Next one, what are the functions of NFRA? Read the function number 1. Establishing high quality AS and what? Actually, NFRA wants Indian Chartered Accountants to be at par with AICPA CPAs, Certified Public Accountants. We want our Indian accounting and auditing standards to stand at par with what? International. That is what the effort NFRA is trying to do. What is the second effort? Effective oversight of accounting of what? Body corporate and auditing by whom? So not only it is keeping the eye on you, it is also keeping the eye on whom? Body corporate. Okay, they are following accounting properly and we are doing our auditing properly. And what is the third function? And why it is NFRA is doing all this stuff? To protect the interest of whom? Investors, public, creditors, other affected party. एक rule हमेशा याद रखना. Keep always one rule in your mind. Whenever the act comes into the picture and whenever the new body is incorporated by the central government, it is always in the protection of the interest of stakeholders only. जैसे most of the people don't have an idea कि SEBI Act and Companies Act are not meant for the companies actually. They are meant for the regulations of the company to protect whose interest? Investors and public's interest. Are you getting the point or not? So basically NFRA is not doing anything wrong. So don't make the NFRA your enemy ki haath do ke NFRA is after us and they will punish us. They are only doing the things to set up an example for the remaining CAs who are still working in the organization in an ethical way. So dare you do any unethical activity, who is always watching you? NFRA. Okay? Next one. Now what are the major functions of NFRA? Major functions of NFRA is 6, 7, 8, 9 rules. Read the 6th rule. Recommending essays and what? AS to whom? Now I told you, who is the mediator between whom? NFRA is a mediator between ICAI. ICAI first tells it to whom now? If NFRA feels good, then only it will recommend those essays and AS to whom? And what do you mean by central government here is nothing but MCA, Ministry of Corporate. Did you understand the rule number 1? What is the rule number 2? Monitoring and enforcing the compliance with what? It means now NFRA is talking about which compliance? Compliance on auditors or compliance on companies? Because AS who follows? Companies and body corporate. Same rule we have next. Monitoring and enforcing compliance with what? SS. It means here it is talking on what? Auditor. And what is the last one? Overseeing the quality of service and suggesting measures for what? Dekho, the good thing about, I think in the peer review, if you remember, there is one line called objective of peer review is not to being a fault finding machine. The objective is to suggest you the improvisations. So remember, when you see some authority only as a fault finding machine, you indirectly make that authority as your enemy. You think that they are your enemy. But if you are a fault finding machine plus you are giving what? Recommendations to rectify such faults, then only you will be in a position to accept it. Same line we will understand in management audit also. Same line is given in peer review and here also. They are not only checking your quality of service. If they think that it is not good enough, they will suggest you what? Measures for its what? Improvement. These are the major 4 things you need to understand. So these are the major 4 roles of whom? NFRA. Tell me the 4 roles of NFRA. Recommending AS and SS to whom? Central government. Second thing, always watching, enforcing and monitoring body corporate whether they are following accounting standards or not. Always watching the professionals whether they are following standards on auditing or not. And they are not only finding the quality of service improvement, they are also giving you what? Suggestions to improvise the same. तो ये सारा लिखा हुआ है नीचे all the rules now. Now read rule number 1. Shall receive recommendations from whom? I say on proposal of new SS and AS and on the amendments on what? Existing one. May ask additional information from ICA if on the A above. If they need any additional information on this, NFRA can ask whom? ICA. And shall consider it. If things fit, it shall be recommended to whom? Central government. Simple rule tha. So who receives what? NFRA receives the new suggestions from whom? ICA. May ask additional information from whom? ICA. If NFRA considered it necessary to be planted, it can recommend it to whom? Central government. This is a first function of whom? NFRA. Next rule, monitoring and enforcing compliance of what? Accounting standard. Now listen, NFRA will review your financial statements of the body corporate. May again ask which information? Additional information while reviewing your financial statement. May require the personal presence of what? Officer in review of what? Financials. Matlab, it may ask any of your what? KMP to sit along with whom? NFRA, if the NFRA needs any doubt clarification. Point number D, shall publish its findings relating to what? Non-compliances. While doing the review of your financial statement, if NFRA will come to know that some of the accounting standards have been non-complied, then NFRA will report its findings on the website unless it has a reasons for not doing so. But NFRA is also a very sensitive body. And if the NFRA thinks that if I will publish your findings and if it will be made public and if it will destroy your confidentiality and what? Sensitivity of the company, NFRA will not publish it. But if NFRA thinks that it has nothing to do with your sensitivity and what? Confidentiality, NFRA will bindas publish it on the central government website. Which website? So that every other company shall know that what NFRA can do. What it will publish? Findings of which compliances? Non-compliances. Next one. If NFRA thinks that there is a serious violation of any accounting standard, then it may decide for what? Further investigation and enforcement action through its what? Concerned division. Tell me the 5 powers of NFRA under the company. Point number 1. It will come and review your which statement? Financials. May ask you which information? Additional. May ask the personal presence of the one who prepared it? Yes. If they will find any non-compliances, what the NFRA will do? If it is not affecting your sensitivity and confidentiality, then it may publish it in the central government website. But if it is sensitive and what? Confidential, it will not publish it in the website. And last but not the least, if it is serious irregulation, then NFRA can do what? Can do the further investigation and expert division will come and they will take care of that. This is on body corporate, that's it. But when it comes to auditor, it is little bit more elaborate. Try to understand what are the 3 words I am telling you. NFRA will come to your practicing unit, will do review, evaluate, perform. Repeat. Coming up. Okay. Now, what we are talking about is review, evaluate, and what? Performance. Dekho, what the NFRA will do, it will come and review your documentation. What is SA 230? Peer review, maybe what the peer reviewer does. Thoda increase karna volume. Increase the volume. Peer reviewer, mein what the peer reviewer does? He comes and checks your what? Documentation. Here also NFRA will come and review your what? Documentation. Will evaluate your QCPP. Do you know this word? Quality control in policies and procedures. What is QCPP? It will check whether you maintain the SQC1 or not. Am I correct? It will evaluate your SQC1. It will review your what? Documentation. And what it will do? Testing. It will perform the testing. Like what we go to the client's place. Do we do sampling? Do we do TOC? Do we do TOT, TOB, TOA, assertions, everything we test? They will also come and perform what? Testing and supervising. So what are the 3 things NFRA is doing? Coming and evaluating, coming and reviewing, coming and what? Performing. What does it perform? Testings. What does it review? Documentation. And what does it evaluate? QCPP. What is QCPP? Quality control in policies and procedure. Now, after that, NFRA may demand your GP and IP. What is GP? Governance practices and internal processes. Why NFRA is asking all these things? So that NFRA can help you in promoting your what? Quality. Can help you in bettering your what? Reputation. Can reduce the risk of what? Failure. And can take the which action? Necessary. Actually, NFRA is not doing it for the self-satisfaction of ego. It is doing it for you. Are you getting the point? So what are the 4 reasons NFRA is coming and doing evaluate, perform and review? To reduce your risk of what? Failure. To increase your what? Reputation. And to better your what? Quality. And to take the necessary actions. Now, NFRA may demand the personal presence of the auditor while checking, and they may also ask the which information? Additional. NFRA shall perform necessary monitoring and enforcement activities with the help of its officers and experts. Now, like NFRA found the non-compliances in case of company, what the NFRA can do? Publish it on the which government? Government website. Same way, if the NFRA finds out that you are non-complying with what? Standards on auditing, again NFRA here again can publish your things. But in case it is sensitive and confidential, then NFRA will send one private report to central government instead of making it what? Public. But report will be sent to whom? Central government. And if the NFRA thinks that there is a serious violations of what? Any standards on auditing, again course of action is further investigation, and second one is what?
enforcement action. So what is the difference you found in previous rule and this rule? That was on whom? Companies. This is on whom? Auditor. What happened on companies? Review of FS, additional information, personal presence, serious findings, publish it, and extra course of action. What is coming here? Review, perform, evaluate. What are they reviewing? Your documentation. What are they evaluating? Your QCBP. And what are the performance they are doing? Testing. Am I correct? Why they are doing it? To increase your reputation, to increase your quality, to reduce your risk of what? Failure, and to promote the betterment for your controls. Am I correct? Next one, what the NFRA is doing? NFRA is asking your personal presence while doing it all. NFRA may ask you the additional information. If the NFRA will find any serious irregularities, NFRA will publish it. But if it is sensitive and what in nature, proprietary and confidential in nature, NFRA will send a private report to whom? Central government. But if it is a serious irregularity, NFRA may go for what? Serious investigation, further investigation, and may also take what? Enforcement action. Is it clear? And what is the last rule, everyone? Overseeing the quality of services and suggesting measures for what? Improvement. Now NFRA will give you some time. Now you know that in the peer review also we get some time, and after that follow-up peer review comes. Same here, NFRA will give you some time. NFRA may direct an auditor to take measures for what? Improvement in the quality. Change your audit process, change your quality control, and change your way of doing the which reports. And they will give you some detailed plan, and they will give you some necessary time also. But auditor is under an obligation to incorporate all those improvements and send the report to whom? NFRA. Okay, whatever you gave me the suggestions, I improvised on the same. NFRA shall monitor the improvements of the auditor and take the what? Necessary actions if required. NFRA, if wants, may refer the case to which board? क्योंकि क्या होता है, NFRA is not that much expertise in checking your what? Quality. If the NFRA thinks that things are becoming more technical, and it's better that I should refer the case to whom? QRB. So QRB will take over the case from where? NFRA. Is it clear, everyone? So tell me, what the NFRA is doing in this clause? Monitoring you, giving the enough time to do the improvisations. You as an auditor will do the improvisation and send a report to whom? NFRA. NFRA will check your report. If the NFRA still thinks that there are still more improvements required, it may further refer your case to whom? QRB for the overseeing the quality services of auditors of company and body corporate and can such information from them. NFRA may take assistance of its experts on overseeing and monitoring activity. You told them to replace it? Okay. Now, did you understand the 4 rules? Tell me the 4 rules. What the NFRA did in rule number 1? Actually, it is not rule number 1. That is rule number 6. The third we have already done. Tell me what it happened in 6. Getting information from ICA, processing it, may ask additional, may recommend it to whom? MCA. Second, checking whom? Body corporates. Third, checking whom? Auditor. Fourth, monitoring the auditor's improvements, and if further improvements are required, case will be forwarded to whom? QRB. Is it clear to all of you? 100%. Last time, please tell me what is rule number 3. Which companies get covered under NFRA? All listed in India, outside India. Second, third, banking, insurance, electricity, special act, body corporate under CG. Fourth, any other case referred by central government in the public interest. And fifth one, being a foreign subsidiary if you are contributing 20% or more in the consolidated net worth or consolidated income. So these are the major core things you should have known about section number 132. Did you all understand 132? Now let us understand 134, that is called what? Board report. In that board report also, actually changes are not there, but there are so many things they have started asking from the section number 134. Let me tell you, in the board report, actually, it's a very simple section. I will make it simple for you. There are total 42 clauses in the board report. How many? But you don't have to worry. If you know Caro, 18 or over. How many clauses are there in Caro? Tell me 6, 12 and 16. 6 is cost record. 12, Nidhi. And 16? Leave these clauses. How many are left? 18. Prefix the word particulars of. That what comes in board report. Did you understand? Total 21. minus 6 minus 12 minus 16. Total remaining are what? 18. Prefix the word particulars of. Tell me the 18 contents of board report. बस आगे particulars of लगाना है. Particulars of plant, property and equipment. Particulars of inventory. Particulars of related party loans. Particulars of loan to directors and intercorporate loans. Particulars of deposits accepted, repaid or defaulted if any. उसके बाद 6 you have to leave. What is 7th one? Particulars of payment of statutory dues. So do you remember 18 out of 42? Remaining. Let's start from 19 now. 18 over na? Let's start from 19. What is the 19th content? Number of board meetings happened during the year. What is the next one? Extracts of annual return. What is the form number for annual return? MGT 7. Form number for annual return is what? MGT 7. For OPC and small company, MGT 7 capital A. And MGT 8 is compliance certificate, which is required for the listed entities. So that is a very big form actually. But we can't attach the full annual returns with our board report. So what do we attach? Summary of that. Summary of MGT 7 is known as what? MGT 9. But suppose you are interested in knowing full annual returns. So don't worry, I will give you what? Web link. You click on that, you will be automatically directed to the website of the company where the full-fledged annual return is also published. So 3 points are over. What are the first point? Board meetings, extracts of what? And web link of the website where what is published. Same way, my risk management policy is also a huge document. You want to check it out? I'll give you a web link. You click on that, you will be directed to the website of the company. Next point. Reasons of section number 130 and 131. Anybody can tell me what is 130, 131? See, reopening of books of accounts and recasting of financial statement, voluntary revision of board report. In case you have applied to the NCLT, or NCLT has ordered you to recast your books of accounts or reopen your what? Books of accounts. What is the reason behind that? That also you have to mention in the which report? Board report. I'm not expecting you to learn all the 42. But I will tell you all 42 so that you can at least learn 20-25 out of it. Keep the Karo points as a backup. Keep the Karo points as a backup. First try to write these points. So tell me what are the 4-5 points you know so far? Number of board meetings, extracts of annual return, full annual returns ka web link, risk management policy ka web link, reason of 130 and 130. That all comes under the which report? Board report. Next one, constitution of your which committee? And nomination and remuneration committee. Next, how many CSR initiatives you have taken during the year? Major highlights of what? Financial year. How many subsidiaries, joint ventures and associate added in the group and how many left? Did you take any energy consumption conservation initiatives? Have you heard of this? Matlab, if you have improvised your technology due to which your energy consumption has gone down, but production is still what? Same. So that means energy consumption. What is this word? Conservation initiative. How much foreign exchange you have earned and what? Spent during that. Tell me the 7-8 now. Board meetings, 130, 131K reasons. Constitution of Audit Committee, NRC, web link of what? Annual returns, web link of what? Risk management, extracts of which return? Annual return in form number MGT 9, energy consumption conservative initiatives, CSR initiatives, how many components have been added and how many left? How much foreign exchange you earned and what? Spent. Is there any what? Technological advancement you have done? And most important, your top 10 employees ka list remuneration wise and performance wise, and the list of those employees who were employed for full year in your organization and they were drawing the salary of more than what? 1 crore 2 lakh rupees per annum. What is the limit? And those employees also who were employed part of the year, not full year, but they were getting the salary of more than 8 lakhs 50,000 rupees per month. Will you be able to retain that? Please tell me. What is the difference between this and this? Multiply by 12, answer will remain same. So, say for example, I was an employee on job work. They employed me for 9 months. I will come under first 32 or 33. I worked only for 9 months. My salary was 8 lakhs 40,000. I will not come here. My salary was 9 lakh 40,000. I will come here. I was working for 14 months. How many months? Means full financial year, one full financial year. And my salary was almost 3 crores 40 lakhs. Will it come or not? But my salary was 1 crore. So salary has to be what? More than 1 crore 2 lakhs in case of full year employees and part-time employees mein case mein, because you are giving a big chunk of the expenditure in the form of salary to them. So they deserve to come in your which report? Board report. Next one. Attach the which responsibility statement. अच्छा ये बताओ जल्दी जल्दी बताओ मैं तुमसे 7 क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगा प्लीज टेल मी इट इज माय रिस्पांसिबिलिटी एज एन ऑडिटर और डायरेक्टर्स accounting standards, accounting estimates, accounting records, and accounting policies. Repeat the 4 words. Accounting standards, accounting policies, accounting records, accounting estimates. Going concern? Directors. Internal financial control system? Director. Laws and compliances? Director. This is called DRS. What is this? Did you get the point? Now, what are the 7 words I told you are written here? What are the 7 words? Accounting policies, accounting estimates, accounting records, accounting standards, going concern, laws and regulation, internal fund. These all come under what? Director responsibility statement. This is how the director responsibility statement looks like. And you will be able to find all those words. What is this word? Accounting policies, accounting estimates, accounting records, accounting standards, going concern, laws and regulation. IFCS. Drafty the sentence, you are more expert than me. Main thing is you should know what DRS includes. This is called the tricks you have to remember. So what are the 7 words again? Tell me. 4 are accounting. Standards, policies, records, estimate. Who's a responsibility? Directors are responsible. Going concern, laws and regulations, and IFCS, director. So that statement also we have to attach in what? Board report. And next one, how many KMPs have been added and removed during the year? Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Up now, please tell me how many contents you can remember in board report. So many. But keep the Karo wala contents at the what? End as a backup. In case you don't know anything, you forgot every point. At least something is better than nothing. That is where the Karo points will come. Except 6, 12 and 16. And write the particulars of in the front of each and every heading, and that will become the contents of your which report. Actually, there are so many other contents also in the board report. Read this point 36. Comments in the form of what? Negative or adverse remarks. If the auditor has given any negative or adverse remarks, that also you have to report it in board report. Amount of profit, if any, transferred to which reserves. Yesterday we have done that. What are the 3 adjustments you do from the net profit when we declare the dividend? First one, current year depreciation, unabsorbed depreciation of previous year plus transfer to reserves, if any. That detail is also going to come in the which report. If you have declared any final or what? Interim dividend. Evaluation of performance of your what? Board of director. Any public deposits raised, repaid and what? Defaulted. Declarations made by which director? Independent director. Total 39 points are aware, and this is 40. What is a 40? Details of proceedings pending under what? Insolvency, Bankruptcy Code 2016. And for OPC, the board report is known as what? Abridged. What do you mean by abridged? Small version of the normal board report. Abridged means summarized. So out of 14, 40 means 18 plus 22 extra points I have told you. Out of 22, can you tell me 10? That will serve the purpose of 5-mark answer. What are the 10? Now you can so many because you have understood now. You have so many things. So board report, board meetings wala point 1, 130, 131, KMPs added and removed, subsidiaries added and removed, details of top 10 employees performance wise, and those employees who work throughout the year getting a salary of more than 1 crore 2 lakh, and part of the year getting more than 8 lakhs 50,000, and then director responsibility statement. CSR initiatives, foreign exchange earned, spent, technology advancement, energy consumption, annual returns ka extract, annual return ka web link, n number of points you can remember now. See, in these kind of topics, you should never mug up. Just read it out 2-3 times. Automatically, in your head, in your subconscious mind, these 40 points will travel. And whatever will be picked up during the examination, just vomit it out in the examination. Am I correct? This is how you do the section number 134. Which report? Board report. Now the question arises, sir, board report ko sign kaun karta hai? Who signs the board report? If the chairman of the company is what? Authorized by the board. You know that who is the most powerful person in the organization is never the chairman. It is always the what? Board of director. If the Ratan Tata also wants to sign the board report, he has to first take the permission of its what? Board of director. If the board of director said, okay, sir, you sign it, satisfy your ego, so then who will sign? Chairman. If the board of directors are not authorizing the whom? Chairman, then two directors will sign, among whom one should be what? MD. Same rule applies to financial statements also. Who signs the financial statement? Again, if the chairman is authorized, who will sign? Plus three more people. CEO, CFO, CS. And if the chairman is not authorized, two directors, among whom one should be what? MD. Plus again three more people. CEO, CFO, CS. Remember, who does not sign? Chartered accountant never signs the financial statement. You should know that. We should always sign what? Auditor's report. We never sign what? But Indian culture is what? अगर आप reality देखोगे, ground level reality, the banks always demand whose signatures on FS also. So actually we do the violations. As per 134 we are not allowed. But practically we also sign because that enhances the confidence and trust issues of whom? Lending institution. They think that कि भैया CA आप sign कर दो. Mukesh Ambani's signature is there or not doesn't matter. But your signature is must. Because that gives us a what? Trust and confidence on their FS. But in reality, you should never sign. To tell me how many people sign if the chairman is not authorized? Two directors, out of whom one MD. Two people plus CEO. CEO. Because these are known as white collar people. They are very much required to be responsible for signing what? Financial statement. Are you getting the point? Otherwise, Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, getting 1340 crore rupees per annum as a remuneration. What is the point of giving him 1400 crores of remuneration when we do not use his signature for even one time? So these people have been kept specially by the companies, and this one you might have one topic also in audit committee and corporate governance called CEO CFO certification, if you remember, right or not? So as per listed company, this is mandatory that who has to sign? CEO and CFO. But as per companies, they are saying 5 people should sign. And if I have to show you tomorrow, I shared the link with you. There the Reliance car audit report I shown you, na. You will find in their financial statement these names only you will find. CEO, CFO, CS and all those things. So that brings an end to your section number what? 134. So what are the two sections we are done with? 132, 134. Let's wind up this companies act once for all by doing the last section. What is the last? 135, which talks about what? CSR. Actually, why I am telling you the CSR? CSR actually I should not tell you. It is a part of your intermediate position, but CSR check total section has been revamped, completely revamped, and that's the reason I have to tell you the whole section in detail. And two major amendments have come. That's what I have to tell you. Now, I will tell you the major core part, not the full. What is the section number, everyone? 131 CSR. Can you please tell me CSR का schedule क्या है? 7. The schedule number is what? 7. And yesterday, if you remember, we already had a hint of CSR little bit in Caro as well, where I told you that there are two types of projects. One is ongoing. What happens in the ongoing project? You have unspent some money. So you will transfer it to unspent CSR account within 30 days from the end of the financial year. And if in the non-ongoing project you saved some money, within 6 months from the end of the financial year, you will transfer to what? CSR fund. Same things are there, but make sure that you should understand this point. These new rules have started coming from 22nd January 2021. Point number 1, these are called non-CSR activities. First of all, don't concentrate on CSR activities. Concentrate on what? Non-CSR. That is a smaller list. Rest remaining everything else is what? CSR. This is a small amendment came here. First of all, read the heading. Activities undertaken as per its what? Objects. Say for example, I'm a charitable hospital. And in my MOA, it is written that I'm going to do the cancer patients treatment free of cost. Is it a CSR? No. Whatever is written in your object clause, if you do, that is not a what? CSR. Other than object clause, if you do any welfare of the society, that is called what? CSR. So what I'm trying to tell you is that Section 8 company is not a CSR. Section 8 company doing things other than its what? Object clause is known as what? CSR. But recently small amendment came during these 3 financial years. Look at the 3 financial years. 2021, 21-22 and 22-20 means this getting ending after 2 days. In these 3 financial years, if you have done any R&D, what is R&D? Relating to COVID-19. Relating to what? Then in that case, you will be allowed to get an exemption of what? CSR. But it has to be connected with what? COVID-19. And which 3 financial year? This is what main thing you have to remember. Which 3? 2021, because the first lockdown happened in that time. 2021, 21-22 and 22-23. After that, it means from this year onwards, you will not get this exemption. So it means this part will be completely removed and only this line will exist. Did you get the point? That is amendment number 1. Now, next, if you are doing any CSR activity on the trainings outside India, that will not be on the Indian sports personnel. That will not be covered under what? CSR. If you are making any contribution directly or indirectly to the which parties? Political parties. That is also not a CSR. If you are doing some CSR for the benefit of your own employees, that is not a CSR. Why? If the Reliance will open one university for its own employees where the nursery to MBA is free for the employees' children, is it a CSR? No. Because doing welfare of your own employees is your duty. It is not your voluntary action. But what if he has made a university where everyone's education is free? Then it will be treated as what? CSR. Next one. If you are sponsoring marathons and prize distributions, then also it is not a CSR. Why? You are marketing. You are doing the sales promotion. You will give the sponsorship, but everywhere your poster will be there. So indirectly you are doing nothing but what? Sales promotion. If you are incurred the money where? That is not a CSR. Say for example, Indian government is spending $12.5 million giving the contribution to the Zimbabwe kind of country to have a water distillation plant. First of all, India is itself is a poor country. Develop your own country first. Then only go outside India. So any expenditure incurred outside India is also not a what? CSR. And any other obligation under any other law. Now, this is the main things you need to understand. Then you all know that whenever the company do a CSR, you have to constitute one committee. What is the name of the committee? And they formulate one policy. What is the name of the policy? CSR policy. This is the amended part, administration, and this is what I was telling you. Just read the heading of meaning of ongoing project. Read this. It is a multi-year project undertaken by the company for CSR fulfillment not exceeding 3 years, excluding the year of its what? Commencement. Matlab, suppose if I have commenced a project on 7th July 2023, this financial year you have to leave plus how many years? 3 years. That is called which project? Plus such projects which were initially not approved as what? Multi-year, but duration got extended beyond what? So it was a non-ongoing project earlier, but unfortunately we were unable to complete that project in what? 1 year. Got some little bit of what? Extension. It means what is the definition of non-ongoing project? Which has to be completed within what? 1 year. That is what is the same thing I told you. Am I correct or not? So ongoing project की definition क्या है? Year of commencement, leave it, plus how many years? 3 years. Plus a project which was earlier declared as what? Non-ongoing, but later on got extended beyond what? 1 year. That's why it became what? Ongoing project. Next one. CSR committee when it is mandatory. Just read this point. Net worth is 500 crores or more. Turnover is 1000 crores or more. Net profit is. But listen to this point. If your CSR expenditure is less than 50 lakhs, less than how many lakhs? CSR committee is not required. Did you get the point? It is required if any of the 3 conditions are satisfied. But you have to also check your CSR what? Expenditure. If that is less than what? 50 lakhs, then you need not constitute a which committee? CSR. So this is for constituting and that is for not constituting. You can dissolve it if your CSR expenditure is less than what? 50 lakhs. All these points are covered here. That just mean focusing point I'm telling you, because we have already spent a lot of time on company audit. Okay? Now, Yes. Please tell me about the topics which I told you. What you will do to the unspent amount and what you will do to the saved amount. What you will do to the unspent amount and what you will do to the saved amount. Unspent amount will be transferred to unspent CSR account within 30 days from the end of the financial, which you have to utilize where? Next year. But saved amount you have to transfer to the CSR fund within 6 months from the end of the financial year, and that will never come back to you. Means once a CSR is always a CSR, you cannot take it back. And how much is your CSR contribution? At least 2% of the last what? 3 years. But what if the company is not yet incorporated for more than 3 years? Then in that case, you can take on the net profits of which year? Last year. And this is what's unspent, and this is what non-ongoing project concept, and this is what is ongoing project. You can see that 6 months from the end of what? Financial year. And here how many? Within 30 days from the end of the financial year. And yes, what I told you, whatever you are spending, whatever you are transferring unspent CSR account, that also has to be spent in the next what? 3 years. If not spent in the 3 years, then within 30 days from the end of the 3 years, it will be transferred again to what? CSR fund. It means ultimately unspent CSR money will finally flow to your what? CSR fund. Yes. Administration overhead, just now I told you. See, to do the CSR, you need to do some indirect expenditures. That indirect expenditure shall not be more than what? 5% of what? Total CSR. So your administration overhead shall not be more than 5% of total CSR. And there is no other. Penalty has been amended. You dare to do the violation of section number 135. You know what is the penalty earlier? Earlier, the same penalty of 134 was the penalty of what? 135. But now the penalty has changed. If there's a violation of 135, penalty on the company is what? 2 times the amount to be transferred to what? Fund or unspent CSR account but not yet transferred, or rupees 1 crore, whichever is lower. Say for example, there was 40 crores you saved, but you forgot to transfer it to what? CSR fund or unspent CSR account. What will happen? 80 crores to be compared with what? 1 crore, whichever is lower. And the same penalty on OID, but instead of 2, it became what? 110, and instead of 1 crore, it became what? 2 lakhs. So please tell me what is on OID? 1/10 of the amount not yet transferred, or 2 lakhs, whichever is lower. That is on OID, and this is on what? Company. Is it clear? Notes will be there. You just go through it once. Okay. And main, yeah, this is where. अच्छा, how many? दे रहा हूँ भाई. किसने बोला ब्रेक बाय द वे? तुमने बोला ना? है ना भाई? You said ना ब्रेक? पता है बेटा. The place where you're sitting, we were sitting there 10 years back. We have gone through that age. Break. 3 hours के break में तुम्हें और क्या चाहिए? Do you want to complete it or not? तो break देते just 5 minutes more on the CSR, because I have to tell you the main amendment where it has come. Yes, this is the main amendment, second amendment. Now see, every company having average of what? 10 crores or more of which expenditure? CSR. In the last how many years? 3 years. Say for example, I am a company. Say for example, अगर अपन Reliance की करें, it exactly fits, क्योंकि Reliance does 1150 crores of expenditure every year on CSR. Now it fits under that. If your total CSR expenditure is 10 crores or more in the preceding last 3 years, so you have to go for one agency, independent agency, who will prepare impact analysis report. Which report? Matlab that will tell us ki what you have contributed to the society. You have spent this much of money. What is the impact of this money on the society so far? Now see, must undertake impact assessment through a which agency? A report of impact assessment shall be included in where? This is why I am telling you, because it is connected with 134. One additional point you got. But main change has come here. What is this? Company may book impact assessment expenditure. How much is written? Not greater than 5% of CSR or 50 lakhs, whichever is lower. Now, this 5% has become 2%, and this lower has become higher. This is the major amendment. Now, please tell me how much expenditures of this impact assessment you can book. 2% of your CSR expenditures or 50 lakhs, whichever is higher. So, what are the two changes came in main point? 5% became what? 2%, and lower became what? Higher. This is a major change came. This is what I was looking for to let you know. Remaining everything is simple, what you have already done. So please tell me, if you are a company of doing the CSR expenditure of 10 crores or more in the last what? 3 years, you have to get it done by an independent agency, but you are also allowed to book this what? Expenditure. How much was allowed and how much is allowed now is one? 2% of CSR expenditure or 50 lakhs, whichever is higher. That is the main point. Did you get the point? So that brings an end to your discussion on the chapter called what? 135 talks about which talks about what? CSR. This is the major amendments I wanted to tell you about the CSR, NFRA, and the board report. Right now, you can take a break. Come back after the break. We'll start with the NOCLAR. Along with that, NOCLAR ka small amendment which has come, and then we'll directly going to start with our professional ethics. Till the time it is not getting completed, then we'll go for peer review, and then if the time will allow, we'll go for what? Quality review. Are you getting the point? Go and take a break. कितना चाहिए भाई break? Half an hour. हाँ, बनाना है क्या? Half an hour चाहिए अभी? अभी ले लो, then directly up to 1. Fair enough? तो एक काम करो, come by 10:15. 10:15 तक आ जाओ. 5 minutes less to half an hour, and then we'll continue. Go. Because I know that if I'll say 10:15, you will come by 10:20. Anyways, you will make your half an hour. Please come back. Unpause it. Start it, huh? Okay. Hello. Shall we start now? So let's start with the NOCLAR and the professional ethics. Maybe another 3 to 4 hours dedicated on these topics, because it is going to give you minimum 20 marks. NOCLAR mein small amendment has come. 16 marks of professional ethics will come, including guidelines, including section, all 34 schedules. And I think you already know under the CARO how do we proceed with it. Each and every schedule, then again reverse and this and that. All 34 by the end of the day, clauses should be there inside you. Once the professional ethics will be over, after that we'll be starting with the peer review, the most amended topic. Then tomorrow's content, NBFC, we'll do NBFC, we'll do forensic, investment, due diligence, small topics, PSU audits, this and that. And then a little bit of standards also, 500 mein some important standards, and then 600 series will wind up.
and day after tomorrow maybe we'll see the residual part, whatever is left with, right? Now let us first start with the NOCLAR, everyone, and I hope you know the full form of the NOCLAR, non-compliance of laws and regulations. Acha, how NOCLAR is an enemy of our ethical requirement called confidentiality. The biggest thing you have to understand that the challenge which we are facing after the NOCLAR has been introduced as a professional accountant is now we are under the dilemma situation. What is the dilemma situation? What does the confidentiality says? It is one of our fundamental principles of our professional ethics. What is confidentiality say, everyone? What does confidentiality say? You are under an obligation to always maintain the confidentiality relating to your client's aspects. If you think that they are too sensitive and too confidential in nature, you have to keep your mouth shut. Only under two requirements you are allowed to open your mouth. Either it is a prior permission of the client or it is a requirement of the law. Now, on one side, confidentiality is the concept, but on the other side, they are saying that ki open up about the NOCLAR. What do you mean by open up about the NOCLAR? If you think that your client is not complying with the laws and regulation, so as a member in practice as well as member in service, what are the two people? Member in practice as well as a member in service, both have to comply with what? NOCLAR. Are you getting the point? So first of all, let us understand what is the each and every inherent meaning of the word called what? NOCLAR. Try to understand its definition, because in the definition only 50% of the topic will be done. Read the definition, everyone, carefully. What is written? It is an act of omission and the act of what? Commission. What does that mean? You forgot to do something. Are you getting? Or you did something but that was wrong. Are you getting the point? So if there is an act of omission or if there is an act of what? Commission, either done what? Intentionally, or done what? Unintentionally. Either it is a fraudulent act or it is a error act. By the whom? By the client. When we'll use a word called client? When we're talking about PCA. What is PCA? Practicing CA. It means you are in practice, so for you it is your client. Or if you are an employee CA, then in that case you are what? Employer. So who has done the act of omission and commission? Either it is done by your client, or it is done by your employer, or it is done by your employers, which one, or clients, which one? TCWG people, those charged with governance, or the management is playing some role in that, or who what? Employees. So let's combine this all words together. It's an act of what? Commission, or it's an act of what? Omission. Either done what? Intentionally, or done what? Unintentionally, by your client or by your employer or by the TCWG or by the employee or any person in the organization, to be reported by the whom? Professional accountant in service when you are in job, and to be reported by whom? Professional accountant in public practice when you are in practice. Am I correct? So NOCLAR is something which is covering both the people. Who are the both people? Members in practice and members in service. Is it clear? So once you will see any kind of non-compliance of laws and regulation, either done intentionally or unintentionally, your responsibility is to spit it out in the open market. Am I correct? To the required regulator. Next thing what you have to understand is ki whether it is NOCLAR or it is a suspected NOCLAR. Either it has happened or you have a suspicion that it is going to happen. Next point. Purpose is not to ignore the what? Non-compliant. Our purpose is that ki, see, it does. Now sometimes we feel that, sir, why in the employment we are taking that much of tension? Remember one thing. When you are in employees, when you are in the employee state, say for example, you are working in a Dr. Reddy's laboratory. Am I correct? Now, Dr. Reddy's laboratory, you were in the manufacturing process and you were involved in that. You came to know that they're using some hazardous chemical, which is not only providing the loss to the environment, at the same point of time, it is very much against the public safety. So, as a normal human being also, will you keep your mouth shut? Or you would like to bring it to the notice of regulator? So, that is called NOCLAR. Say, for example, you were required some standard of that chemical to be used, but Dr. Reddy's laboratory, to make it more popularized, is using more content in that, which is beyond what? Standard. Again, it is a clear-cut case of compliance or non-compliance. And it is not only defecting the environment, it is also against the public safety. So, as an employee or as a auditor, you always have to make sure that if there are such kind of omissions and commissions done intentionally or unintentionally, you have to speak up. Either it is done NOCLAR or it is what? suspected no-cler. Now see, next one, to strike a good balance between the confidentiality and other disclosures under what? No-cler. Always remember, when you think that something is not against the environment, not against the money laundering, not against the terrorist financing, these are the some of the reasons where the no-cler will come. Don't get confused between the confidentiality, because we get into the dilemma situation. Should I maintain confidentiality because I'm working under my employer, I'm working for my client, or should I spit out ki he is doing the non-compliance? So this kind of confusing state will come to your mind. Should I spit or should I not? Should I keep silence or should I make a noise? Are you getting the point? So the good balance between the two is, if it is relating to financials, if it is relating to what? Only financials, you can maintain what? Confidentially. But when it comes to public safety as a part, public safety as a whole, then keeping the silence is the biggest thing, biggest wrong thing you will be doing as a member in practice as well as a member in service. Now see, according to IESBA, according to what? IESBA. Now, International Ethical Standard Board for Accountant. Matlab, internationally, no-cler is applicable to everyone. Either you are a member in practice or you are a member in service. But as per ICAI code, now I am telling you the old provision, then you will open your document of amendment and you will get the amendment over there. As per ICAI in India, as of now, it is restricted to professional accountants in practice of what? Listed companies, and professional accountants in service in what? Listed entity. But here, small amendment has come. Please open your document now. Now, in the document where the amendments are being given, you can see this no-cler amendment is given. Now, first of all, under the no-cler, I would like you to see this part. Yeah, this part. This is the amendment, everyone. Come to the applicability of no-cler in India. Now, this is a small amendment came. What was the earlier provision? Just now I made you read. It is applicable to members in service in listed companies and members in practice of what? Listed. They are still saying the same thing, but they have added this. Audit engagements of which company? Listed entities having a what? Net worth of 250 crores or more. This is the small amendment which has come. Are you getting the point? Now, no longer all the listed entities, but only those listed entities whose net worth is 250 crores or more. Plus, if you are a member in service and you are a senior professional accountant in the organization, what is your designation? Senior professional accountant. It means you are sitting directly into their which zone? KMP, key managerial person. Of a which company again? Of a listed company, then it is applicable to. So earlier and now, what is the difference you find? What earlier ICA was saying? Applicable to any MIP and MIS in which company? Listed. But now it is applicable to MIP in listed companies over and above what? Net worth of 250 crores or more. Plus, and that too if you are a member in service, only in those listed company where your designation is at least what? Senior professional accountant working in the which format? KMP. Are you getting the point? Then only no-cler will be applicable to you. ठीक है ना? एक काम करते हैं. Anyways, no-cler is given over here. Let's read the total no-cler from here only to let you understand the whole point. Now, I already told you no-cler includes what? Acts of what? Omission as well as acts of commission done intentionally or what? Unintentionally. Am I correct? Next one. Committed by either by your client or by professional accountants, employer, or TCWG management client or employer, or other individuals working for or under the direction of the client or employing organization. Now, under what circumstances you have to open up your mouth under the no-cler? Make sure that if you see any kind of what? Fraud, corruption and bribery. Basically, you will find this kind of thing in the banking industry, in the PSU sectors. Am I correct or not? If you think that some fraud is happening, corruption is happening, bribery is happening, make sure that you should apply the no-cler. Second thing, if you think that what is happening? Money laundering, terrorist financing and proceeds of what? Crime. It is again against the national security. So again, you have to apply the no-cler provision. What is the third reason? Environmental protection. If you think that it is providing a harm to the environmental protection, be it air pollution or noise pollution and anything, and that is going to be harmful, make sure that you should open up your mind. Make sure banking and other financial products and what? services. If you'll find any scams and scandals over there, because remember one thing, in the banks and financial institutions, the major money which is comprises of them belongs to the public. Bank chalta kaise hai? By accepting the deposits from whom? Public. And by lending the money to whom? Public. Actually, it is not the bank's money. It is whose money? Public money. So you have to apply the NOCLAR. Next one, most important thing nowadays, which is becoming very much important, is data protection. If you think that now, because today your everything is available online, your data is available online, and if you think that your client or your employer is doing some data theft or data security theft and all those things relating to data protection, you have to apply your what? NOCLAR. And if it is against whom? Public health and what? Safety. And most importantly, if it is relating to what? जैसे insider trading है. You all know that insider trading means making the misuse of the unpublished price sensitive information. That is called what? Insider trading. And last but not the least, if there are tax, pension liabilities and what? Payment. Basically workmen compensation funds. If any of these areas you are coming across, what is your responsibility? To make sure that you should apply what? NOCLAR. But there are some important facts about the NOCLAR you need to understand. Point number 1. Now understand one thing. See, you are working as an auditor somewhere, or you're working as an employee somewhere. You need not be expert in all the laws. Are you getting the point? You do not have to do the investigation. There are authorities who will do the investigation. Don't try to be oversmart hero in that point of time. Am I right? You saw some non-compliance, simply report it to the specified regulator. Don't act oversmart over there. So you need not have the expertise of what? Law. Expected to apply knowledge and expertise and exercise with judgment, professionalism. Point number 1. Point number 2, if you think that there is one personal nature of NOCLAR. Which nature of NOCLAR? Personal nature, and it is irrelevant, unrelated to business. Just say for example, there is one CEO. He is doing the tax evasion. But there is a company, if it is doing the tax evasion, which is the personal one, which is the official one? CEO is personal matter, but which is the official one? Company. There you can apply the NOCLAR. And if it is unrelated to the business, now see this point, certain matters expressly out of your purview. Matters clearly what? Insignificant, relating to what? Personal misconduct, unrelated to business of client, not what? Covered. You need not apply the NOCLAR in that case. Don't be, that much behind a person. And next one, disclosures, which is contrary to what? Law. Do you remember yesterday we have done CAM, EMP, OMP? What is a common thing I told you? Something which is prohibited by law, you need not have to disclose. So something which is prohibited by law, you are not bigger than law. So if it is prohibited by the law, that's why the company is not doing it. So you are also not required to do it. So what are the 3 things you have to keep it in mind while applying the NOCLAR provisions? Point number 1. Expertise in the law is not required. Let the other person do the investigation. Your work ends when you reported it. Point number 2. Personal nature, unrelated business things may you need not concentrate. Point number 3. Anything which is prohibited by law is outside your what? Scope. Right? Next one. Applicability of NOCLAR in India, just now I told you. As per IESBA, it is applicable to everyone. But as per Indian ICAI code, it is applicable now. Please tell me what is the amendment? If you are a member in practice of a listed entity having a net worth of 250 crores or more, then only NOCLAR is applicable to you. Second thing, if you are a senior professional accountant working in the KMP position in a which company? Listed company, as a member in service, now only NOCLAR is available. Main amendment is this. Are you getting the point? Now let's say for example you saw the NOCLAR is happening, or you have the suspected NOCLAR in front of you. Don't be a hero at that point of time. Just if we do the audit, while doing the audit, do we do planning? AKOCB, acquiring the knowledge of whose business? Client's business. Strategize our resources, execute it, and then report it. Here also you have to do one thing. Read the point number 1. Obtain the understanding of what? Matter. First of all, understand what this matter is all about. Right or not? If it is matching any of those 8 areas. What are the 8 areas we have just now specified? Terrorist financing, money laundering, bribery, corruption, fraud, data theft, or environmental protection. If any of those areas are there, understand the matter first. What is the second step? Addressing the matter. Matlab, look at that matter and see that to whom you would like to address it. Then if you think that you are not an expert, take some what? Advice. Hire an expert and take some what? Advice. Because unnecessary, say for example, you went against your own employer, he may put a defamation suit against you. Suppose the thing was not no-clear, but you thought it as a no-clear. So better that if you're not expert in something, seek what? Advice. Next one, determine if further action is what? Needed. Check if any further action is required and determine whether to disclose to such which authority? Appropriate authority, and see if it is a which breach? Imminent breach means significant harm. What is the meaning of imminent breach? Significant harm. If you think that the loss is huge, significant enough, it is required to be reported, then in that case, what is the last point? What do we do in every audit? Here also you have to document the same, because when the proceedings will happen, you should have something to prove your discussions. Okay, this is the reason I went for an action against the company. So what are the 7 steps you have to follow when you will come across a no-clear provision? Understand the matter, address the matter, seek an adverse expite, check if any action is required, see if anything is required to be reported to appropriate authority. If it is an imminent breach, make sure that you document what? Everything. So these are the 7 procedural steps you need to take care of when you are coming across a matter of what? No clear. Is it clear to all of you? 100%? Are you understanding everything? Next point is what? Documentation required in no clear. Revised course over and over above required professional accountants to follow the additional document requirements as under. Point number 1, how the management and TCWG has responded to the matter. Once, what do we do in audit? Once we report our modifications and reservations to the client, what do we expect from the client? Should they take the needful action or not? Same thing we are expecting here. I have reported a no-clear whether the management at TCWG has taken the required action or not. How they have responded to the matter. The course of action accountant considered means I considered, what judgments I made and what decisions I have taken having regard to reasonable and informed which party? Third party. Always remember, you need someone to let you know that you are good. Just say for example, I'm teaching you right now. It's your feedback which will let me know did I deliver you as per your expectations or not. I cannot say that I have delivered to my best of my knowledge. You always need a third party review to let you know whether you have met the standards or you have not met the standards. Same thing here. Discuss your matter with third party. If the third party also agrees with your decisions, agrees with your judgments, agreed with your matters and documentation, then only your same SA 230 maybe we have this provision now. How you will come to know that your documentation is sufficient? And same SA 220 maybe we do. How do you check that your quality controls in policies and procedures are maintained or not? EQCR, engagement quality control reviewer or not? Do we get it reviewed by somebody else? Documentation maybe do we report it to somebody else who is a third party not associated with that audit but he is a practicing CA or not? Same thing here. Get it reviewed by the third party test. Whatever the considerations you made, whatever the judgments you made and whatever the decisions you have taken, whether they were correct as per the no-clear or not. Not only the management's response you have to check, you have to overview yourself as well. Second thing, how accountant is satisfied that the responsibilities of public interest has been what? Fulfilled. Now check if the management has taken any needful actions. Did they do any initiative to reduce the harm to the public or not? Say for example, I reported about some particular drug which they are using and harmful for the society. Did they find any substitute for the same or not? All those things you have to check as a what? Auditor. So this is what brings an end to your what? No-clear ka provision actually. So please tell me quickly what is no-clear. 2 minutes में revise करेंगे. What is no-clear? So any act of omission or commission done intentionally or unintentionally by your client or by your employer, by a TCWG management or employees working under the employed or employer on a specified suspected no-clear or a done no-clear. What is your responsibility in the which areas may you have to open up? Environmental protection, terrorist financing, money laundering, bribery, corruption, fraud, data protection, and if it is public safety and health. These are the areas where you have to do not have to keep your mouth shut. What are the things you don't need in no-clear? You need not be expert. You need not give the no clause relating to personal nature unrelated to your business, and make sure that something which is prohibited by law, you should not open up your mouth. Am I correct? Next point, no clause internationally applicable to everyone, but as per ICA code, it is now applicable to members in practice of listed entities having the net worth of 250 crores or more, and persons who are working as a senior accountant professional as a KMP position in the listed entity as a member in service. Next point, what we have understood, what are the 7 steps course of action you have to take when you see a no clause? Understand the issue, address the issue, then take the expert advice, see if any action is required, report it to appropriate authority. If it is an imminent breach, make a documentation. Am I correct? What is the next thing? After all these things, what you need to check, you have to understand whether the management and TCWG responded or not, got yourself tested by a third party, whether your consideration, decisions and documentation is good or not, and make sure that whether the well initiatives have been taken to protect the interest of whom? Public or not. This is what all about no clause. But the question is, sir, how no clause is different from SA 250? SA 250, I'm going to wind up here only. Please tell me, what is SA 250? Considerations of laws and regulation. Am I right? Who has to consider it? Major responsibility whose? Management. See, in that particular standard, it's a very small standard. There are 2 types of laws you have to consider, which have a direct impact on your financial statement and which do not have a direct impact on your financial statement. Let me ask you one thing. Is tax law having the direct impact? Yes. Is labor laws having the direct impacts? Yes. Yes. Provisions of the EPF, provisions of gratuity, provisions of what? Bonus. Do we show it in the balance sheet or not? Anything which affects your balance sheet either in terms of P&L items or in terms of what? Balance sheet is having a direct impact. What you need to do as per 250 in that case? Obtain SAAE. What is SAE? Sufficient and appropriate audit, and accordingly give what? Advice. Oh, sorry, reporting. What about those impacts which are not affecting your financial statement directly? That is also being covered in SA what? 250. There you need to take WRL from the management and see the correspondence between the management and the appropriate regulator. That we will touch over there as per 250. Why I'm taking 250? Because so many times they may ask you this question. What is the difference between no clause and what? 250. Actually, no clause is talking about everything. Let it be financial things or let it be what? Non-financial. Whereas the SA 250 only and only concentrates on what? Financial things. It means which one is a broader work? No clause. So when there is a choice between, you have to make between, should I go for SA 250 or should I go for SA no clause? And if you think that your concerned area is non-financial in nature, so it means no clause will prevail over what? 250. If it is only connected with financial, so you can get it covered under no clause as well as what? 250. So read the point number 1. No, SA 250 talks about auditors' responsibility relating to laws that have direct effect on determination of material amounts and disclosures in financial statement, and other laws and regulations that do not have a direct impact. Just now I told you some directly affects your FS, some do not affect your FS directly. But no clause being alike to SA 250 also accounts for non-compliances that cause what? Which harm? Substantial harm resulting in serious consequences in which 2 terms? Financial as well as what? Non-financial. So what is the major first difference you found? 250 only talks about financial implications. No clause talks about financial as well as non-financial, resulting into which harm? Imminent breach, serious harm. Am I correct? Next point, what is the second thing? 250 does not define what? Stakeholders. No clause is relating to effect of non-compliance on what? Investors, creditors, employees, and also the which public? General public. Basically, that is the difference between 250 and no clause. 250 only and only talks about what? Users. Am I correct or not? But it talks about users or stakeholders. Every stakeholder. Who comes under the stakeholder? Creditor. Are we doing the no clause only for some specific set of people, or everyone is covered? Let it be investors protection, let it be creditors protection, let it be public protection, or let it be anything. So coverage of the no clause is broader as compared to what? 250. Are you getting the point? And most importantly, which is not written here, 250 is for the MIP. Members in practice. NOCLAR is for both MIP as well as MIS. Is it clear? The third point of difference you can write like that also. So 250 is only for the compliance of MIP, whereas the NOCLAR is for the MIP as well as what? MIS. Is it clear to all of you? So what are the three major changes you found in case versus question will come in the examination? That shows the which implications? Financial. It shows the financial as well as non. 250 does not define stakeholder. It defines stakeholder for the other people as well. That is only applicable for MIPs. This is for both MIP as well as what? MIS. Is it 100% clarified? This is what all and everything about the NOCLAR you should have known. Is it clear? The amendment is over. Small company amendment I already told you yesterday by connecting it with the Caro. If 4 crore, 2 crores have become 4 crores and 40 crores of turnover limit has 20 crores have become what? And still the express limit of the higher authority is still same 10 and 100. And small company is a company which can never be a which company? Public. Never be a holding, never be a subsidiary, never be a section 8 and never be a what? Any other body corporate instituted by the central government. Is it clear to all of you? And I connected it with Caro also to make you understand how the question may come in the examination. So shall we start with now professional ethics? NOCLAR ka provision is over. And if I have to tell you NOCLAR, actually NOCLAR came in February 2022 itself only. It was required to be applicable for the November 22, but in the RTP when the November came, they made it non-applicable. So November 22 May it was introduced. I already covered at that point of time. That's why you will find it in my notes as well. But unfortunately, by the time exam came, they said that NOCLAR is what? No more applicable. Am I correct or not? So they made only overview as an applicable. Overview of the new code of ethics. I think all of you know that the new code of ethics statement 2020 has already come into the picture. Maybe you may get through it, but your next generation, your juniors who are going to come, maybe in the coming 1 or 2 years, you will find complete professional ethics is also going to be changed. Right now, we have 34 clauses divided into 2 schedules having 7 parts. But in the future, it is going to be in a different way. That future ka little bit of overview they have added in your portion. That is called overview of what? New code of ethics. Now, when we check the new code of ethics, everyone, basically it is divided. Acha, what is a present code of ethics divided into how many schedules? 2 schedules. But there are no schedules kind of things in the new code of ethics which is going to come. Little bit of introduction you should know just for your clarity only because it is given as a sum of the part in your ICA material, right? Point number 1. New code of ethics means there are no schedules, only parts. What is the first difference? There are no schedules, only parts. How many parts? Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 and Part 4. What is Part 1 talks about? Read the Part 1 everyone. It deals with which? Fundamental principles, code and conceptual framework. Read the point number 1 again. It deals with what? Fundamental principle, code, conceptual and applicable to both of them. And we have stopped calling ourselves as MIP and MIS. What is our new name now? Professional accountants in service and professional accountants in public practice. Are you getting the point or not? So instead of calling yourself as members in practice and members in service, we'll call ourselves as now professional accountants in service and professional accountants in what? Public practice. Is it clear? That is a part number 1. It means part number 1 talks about integrity. बताना कौन से ethical requirements अपने? Integrity. क्या होता है integrity? Honesty, sincerity, straightforwardness, this and that, blah blah blah. What is O? Objectivity, impartial and what? Unbiased. What is I? Independence. What is C? Confidentiality, professional due care, professional behavior. We will not let our institute to go down. Personal kind of things. So they are applicable to both of them. Professional accountants in service as well as professional accountants in what? Public practice. That is part 1. As per the new code of ethics, you just have only overview. You don't have the full-fledged. We will go back to our old one only. Part 2 deals with what? Additional material matters relating to providing which services? Professional services. It is basically applied to whom? Professional accountants in service who are employed, engaged and contracted for executive and non-executive positions in the areas like industry, commerce, service, non-profitable sector, public services in professional and legal bodies and education. Plus, it also covers the public accountants in public practice engaged for the services as an employee in a what form? Which form? CA form. Engaged in these activities. Are you getting the point? So part 2 is again a part which is applicable to both of them. What is the part 1 applicable to? जैसे अपने यहाँ पे होता ना शेड्यूल 1 में part 1 is what? Members in practice. Part 2 members in service. Part 3 is general. Fourth is also what? General, but other misconduct. Same here. Part 1 is applicable to both of them. Part 2 is also applicable to, but especially those members in service who are engaged in these industries. What are the industries? Industry, commerce, service, non-profitable sector, public services in a professional and what? Legal body. And it also covers whom? Professional accountants in which practice? Public practice who are engaged for what? Such services as an employee in a what? Firm. Because you are not going to be an employee in anyone, because we are talking about professional accountants in which practice? Public practice. I'm just giving the overview for your understanding. So part 1 talks about what? Fundamentals, code, everything. Part 2 talks about what? Additional matters. What is a word, everyone? Additional material matter. That also covers both of them. This also covers both of them. But this covers which? Practicing CAs in professional accountants in service. Engaged in which industries? Commerce, service, public service, non-profitable sector, and professional and legal bodies. What is part 3? Deals with additional material matters relating to professional services rendered by whom? Only. It means part 3 is the part which is dedicated only to whom? Professional accountants in what? Public practice. And part 4 deals with the which standards? Independent standard. You all know now actually, let me tell you one thing what has happened. How many standards you have in your portion? 35. All standards on auditing. But when I got qualified, there used to be SAEs, SREs, and SRS as well. These standards have been eliminated from your portion right now, but they have been added in the new overview again, called as which standards? Independent standards. Did you get the point? So no longer you have 34 clauses, this and that, blah blah blah, itne sare parts and all, only divided into how many parts? 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? First one talks about code of ethics, applicable to both of them. Second part talks about additional material matters, applicable to whom? Both of them. Third part talks about additional material matters, applicable to only whom? Professional accountants in which practice? Public practice. And fourth part talks about what? Independence. This is the only overview you need to understand. You want it or you don't want it, just go through once and complete your portion. Are you getting the point? Just overview is given, nothing extra you have to do. Now let's understand the 5 basic things. What is the first one, everyone? Integrity. Please tell me what are the 3 words comes to your mind whenever we talk about the integrity? Honesty, sincerity, straight. But unfortunately, these 3 words you can't write in the examination. You have to write a full-fledged answer for 4 marks. Read it. What is given? Professional accountant is expected to be honest, sincere, truthful, fair, straightforward towards his work, roles and duties. Expected not to get associated with what? Information statement which is what? Misleading, because you have to be honest. You should not give any misleading information. Second thing, where the omission of his statement would make it what? Misleading. Where you think that something you should supposed to write, but you are not writing it, and if you are not writing it, that will make the whole document what? Misleading. Achha, misleading word, are you understanding? We have done that one in chapter called prospectus in intermediate. Misstatement of prospectus. You should not give misleading information and you should not omit, which makes a document what? Misleading. And third thing, do not work where your what is involved? Negligence. That is called integrity. So what are the 4 words in integrity? Ye yaad kar lo. Honest, sincere, truthful, fair, and what? Straightforward. This is called your what? Integrity. Second thing is what? Objectivity. You are expected to always to have what? Impartial and unbiased thought process in your services to your client as well as your what? Employer. Not to fall into a situation where he or she needs to compromise their what? Objectivity and to perform on the wishes and directions of whom? Management. Matlab, don't come under the influence of whom? management. Say for example, if my wife is working as a CEO in the company where I am an auditor, I first joined and she joined later on. What should I do? Should I continue or should I resign? Because first of all, I am disqualified. Am I correct or not? Then immediately vacancy will arise. So why these provisions have been added कि you should immediately resign? What is the reason? To maintain your what? Objective. Because you will come under the undue influence of one of your relative which is working at a higher position in the client's place. Am I clear? So this is called what? Objectivity. What is the third one? Professional competence and which care? Due care. A professional accountant is expected to ensure that he or she always be in compliance of their PET standards. Can you please tell me what is the full form of PET? Professional, ethical, technical standard. Shall undergo the necessary program, trainings and what? Seminars. Achha, how much? Some of you might be aware about the CPE hours. A 90 hours you have to do in the block of 3 years as a members in practice. What is that CPE full form? Continuing professional education. What is the full form? Why it is known as continuing professional education? Because after getting qualified, ICA expects you to still continue to get what? Professional education. By spending how many hours? But no one gives a damn to it. Am I correct? I think some of you already know what I'm trying to tell. You only go there and have some lunch and coffee and tea biscuit and take one slip and come back so that these number of hours can be credited into my account. Second one, shall make sure that to have a continuous professional development to serve in the most efficient manner. See, the only thing which develops our profession is client's money. Do you understand that? Till the time our audit fees is come on time, everything is what? Developed. And what is the next point? Shall ensure that their staff, employees, etc. shall also be what? Professional competence. That you already know under the peer review. Do you have to give the professional trainings? How many of you got trained under your articleship? Formal trainings. Have any time your employer said, beta, come this side. I would like to give my legacy to you. I would like to tell you this is what we do. This is how we maintain in any formal kind of education. Or you just learnt it what they have done. You learnt it because they were accompanying you while going to the whose place? Client's places. So generally there is no such kind of adequate professional training, but you get through over the time. But they expect that you should make sure that not only you should be competent, your staff should also be what? Competent. And what is the last thing they expect? Shall declare the inherent limitation of profession to their what? Clients and have you ever told to your client that ki bhaiya audit is a post-mortem activity? Have you ever told? Sir, audit may we do have a sampling, but sorry boss, I can't give you the guarantee. I will only express an opinion. Am I correct? Do you tell these kind of inherent limitations to your client? But they expect that make sure that nothing should be hidden between you and your client. Tell you all your inherent limitations of profession to your client and employees. Basically, we are talking about threats. Tell me the 5 types of threats which you generally suffer. Yes. Make sure that too much dependence upon the single client is a intimidation threat to you. Am I correct or not? Don't make him understand that you are too much dependent upon him. Otherwise, he may take the undue advantage on you. Am I correct? That is called intimidation threat. And what is the fourth thing? Confidentially. Listen everything and see everything, but keep your mouth shut. Only expected to open it in 2 cases. What are the 2 cases? Either the client permits you or there is a requirement of law. But just now we have understood if the fight is going on between confidentiality and NOCLAR, what will prevail over what? NOCLAR will prevail over what? Confidentiality. Am I correct? Now what they are saying, under the following circumstances, you may open up your mouth. Always remember, till the time you think that the sword is not coming onto your neck, till that time maintain what? Confidential. But if you think that you yourself is going under the case, then in that case you are required to open your mouth against your what? Client. Now read the point number 1. Under what circumstances you can break the confidentiality? Read the point number 1. If any investigation or inspection is going on. Second, proceeding against them in a what? Court of law. Third one, under a which review? Because in the peer review, so you have to open your mouth. Because in the peer review, if you not say anything, you will get a modified peer review certificate, which is nothing but the bad impression on you. And what is the fourth case? When became mandatory under the raid or investigation by the which authorities? Statutory. So tell me the 4 cases under which you need not maintain confidentiality. inspection investigation, raids by the statutory authority under the peer review and quality review, and when there is a case going on against you in the court of law. Next point. Considerations while disclosures are made, recipient shall be an authorized party. When you are disclosing your confidential information, don't disclose it to anyone. Just like anyone. Give it to the which authority? Appropriate authority. What do you mean by that? Make sure that the person to whom you are spitting out the confidential information should be the one who is eligible to receive it. Second thing, it shall not injure, damage, or harm any which party? Third party. Due to your sensitivity disclosure, other parties should not get any kind of financial injury. What is the third one? Mode of communication can be oral or what? Written. The context in which it shall be what? Disclosed. These are the major considerations you have to keep it in mind while breaking your what? Confidential. Tell me the four fundamental principles we have understood. Integrity, objectivity, professional due care and competence, and last one. And read this point, note. It is not only the disclosure which makes it violative, but also professional accountant is expected not to make any unauthorized use of it for his or her personal advantage. What do you mean by that? Let's say, for example, while doing the bank audit, you came across that one of the loan which is granted by the bank was under the personal advice of the branch manager. Am I correct or not? And you knew this. You told him that I'm going to sign a MOC, Memorandum of Changes. That is the biggest fairing document for every branch manager. If you will sign it, he will lose the job. And now you know that your signature is too much important, and he also knows that. You entered a deal with him. Give me a loan at 0% interest. Or else I will disclose your confidential information. Are you making the use of this information for your personal advantage? That also comes under what? Confidentiality. So read the point again now. It is not only that disclosure which makes it violative, but also a professional accountant is expected to not make any unauthorized use of it for his or her what? Personal advantage. That also comes under what? Confidentiality. So don't make the misuse of that confidential information. And last but not the least, which behavior? Anyways, we are professional. Am I correct or not? And we behave very much professionally. Now, it is expected from the professional accountant that they shall not get involved in any activity which brings disrespect or discredit to what? Counsel. Can you please tell me some of the examples of other misconduct? Not maintaining the adequate bank balance in your bank account is a professional misconduct or a other misconduct? Other. Having a lien over the books of accounts of your client because your audit fees is pending. That is not a professional misconduct. Which clause says about that? That is again a which clause? Other misconduct. Anything you do which brings the disrespect to the counsel is an unprofessional behavior. Let's say, for example, you are asking the favor from your article assistant for giving him articles. Because you know that the article's father is running a huge business. You are asking him, bring me your father's books of accounts. I'll take you as my articles. Get your father done the audit under me, and I will give you the favor of getting you under my articles. So these all are the professional behaviors or unprofessional. So that is bringing the disrespect and what? Discredit to the counsel. From mind and appearance both, he or she shall depict a professional behavior. The principle for which various restriction prohibitions are being imposed are professional accountants like website guidelines. You all know website guidelines. Can you paste a website guideline pe pedda photo or passport size? So these guidelines, who has told us? I say, can you have a photograph on visiting card? No, sure. Visiting card itself is of photo size. So you can have or you can't have? Can't have. So who has brought these guidelines? I say, can you have a website name called the best chartered accountants of guntur.com? No, allowed or not allowed? So who has brought these guidelines? I say, all these are being brought to maintain your which behavior? Professional behavior. Am I correct? The golden accountants of guntur.com. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. So this is what brings an end to your what? Fundamental principles. Overview is over. Now the new things have been added. Actually, these are not the new things. I would like to skip this part because this is nothing but 5 threats. What are the 5 types of threats you have? Okay, let me give you one example. You identify which kind of threat I'm talking to you. Am I correct? Point number one. My relative have some securities in the company whose face value is definitely less than what? 1 lakh. And I'm the auditor of that company. My wife is holding 90,000 worth of securities in my client's company. Face value. Am I qualified or disqualified? Qualified. How much she can hold? But indirectly, I have a which kind of threat? Self-interest threat. Which threat, everyone? Because I know that if I'll give the adverse report, what will happen to the share price? Fall. Ultimately, who will lose? I will lose, not my wife. My wife is losing is equal to I am losing. Am I correct or not? So which kind of threat you have? Self-interest. What is a self-review threat? 1 year before becoming the auditor, you resigned as a director in the company. Suppose you resigned on February 23 as a what? Director. And in the AGM earlier, you already have been appointed as an auditor. Your firm has been appointed as an auditor for what? This financial year. Now, please tell me, do you have to review your own work only? And let's say, for example, when you are reviewing your own work done for the previous years, suppose the article comes to you and tells you that, sir, you have not followed SA 230 properly. Which kind of threat you are facing right now? Self-review threat. How bad it is? Am I correct or not? The articles coming, useless fellow. You are expected to keep it for 7 financial years. 7 years you have to keep it. Are you getting the point? And I'm throwing my documentation after 5 years. So am I complying with SQC1 or not complying? As per SQC1, for how many years I have to maintain the documentation? 7. And assembling time is what? 60 days. But if I'm not doing the compliance, am I following or not following? I didn't realize my article is telling me, sir, you should have done that. That is called which threat? Self-review threat. What is this one? What do you mean by advocacy threat? How you will explain it? Advocacy threat means when you refer your client to somebody. Are you getting it? And you are establishing a relationship with your client which is affecting your objectivity. Let's say, for example, one of the friend came to me. He said that, Rohit, I have 10 lakh rupees idle. I would like to invest in some securities. I said, buy my client shares. Now, I now referred my client shares, but I will be having a threat from inside. What if the client share price will go down? So that kind of threat is known as which threat? Advocacy threat. What is the fourth threat you have? When any of your close relative or family members is working in an organization where you're working as an auditor. So you will always have a which kind of threat? Familiarity threat. And what do you mean by intimidation threat? When you are too much dependent upon one client. When you are what? Too much dependent upon one client, that is called which threat? Intimidation threat. Now come back to your amendments topic again. Come back to your module of amendments which is being given to you. It is actually an amendment not been classified for you, but it is very important for you to understand this. Come to this part called PIE, page number 4. Public interest entity. Because in relation to intimidation threat, these kind of questions they may ask you in the examination. Okay? So read this point. What is PIE, everyone? PI. Full form of PI is what? So first of all, if you see, it's a very simple thing. Try to understand. They are saying that if out of your total earnings of the year, if you are too much dependent upon a one particular client, it is an intimidation threat. Do you agree with that? You will always have a fear of losing it. Because you will think twice before giving a modified report. Because you are thinking that if I'll give the modified report, what that client will do to you? He will throw you out. And you will lose the major chunk of your what? Revenue. So what the ICA has brought is some provisions in the form of what? PI. PI stands for what? Public interest entity. So first we have to understand who are known as PI. Read the point number 1. What is PI? Which entity? Listed. It means if you are an auditor of a listed entity, that listed entity is a PI for you. Public interest what? Entity. Or an entity which is defined by regulation or what? Legislation. Say for example, NFRA has declared some entities as a PI. So that entity also will be regarded as PI for you. And what is the third one? For which audit is required by regulation or legislation to be what? Conducted. I have this document. So See, what is the point number 3, everyone? Read this. For which audit is required by legislation or regulation to be conducted in compliance with what? Same independence requirements. Now, such regulation must be promulgated by a relevant regulator, including an audit regulator. Generally, nowadays, who are known as spies for you? If you are a which auditor? Bank's auditor, insurance company's auditor are to be considered as what? Spy. Basically, you see the first word now. What is the first two words? Public interest, where the public money is what? Involved. Now the question is, what is the amendment has come? They are saying that where for 2 continuous years, your total fees from such audit client and its related entities represent more than what? 20% in case of what? Pi, and 40% in case of what? Other than pi. Then, of the total fees received by the firm expressing the opinion on financial statement, firm shall disclose this fact to whom? I say. It means if you are doing the audit of pi entities and the revenue coming from that pi entity is 20% or more out of your what? Total revenue what you earned during the year, then in that case for continuously how many years? 2 years. You have to report it to whom? I say. Simple. Now the question is why? Because ICA wants to keep you away from the intimidation threat. Which threat? ICA is not telling you leave this company. ICA is saying that grow your business in such a way that you increase your number of clients so that this 20% proportion may come fall back below what? 20%. Because moment it will come back below to the 20%, you need not make this intimation to whom? I say. In case of pi, in case of other entities, if it is 40% or more. Let me tell you one thing. Earlier limits were 15%, 15%. Right in the bracket if you want. Actually, it was 15% here. And it was 15% here. 15% has been changed to how much percentage now? 20%. And 15% has been changed to what? 40%. Did you understand? Please tell me what did we understand right now in pi? If you are an auditor of what? Pi. And the revenue coming from that pi is how much? 20% or more. In continuously how many years? 2 years. You have to start disclosing this fact to whom? I say. And other than pi, if your revenue is what? 40%. What was the earlier limit? Did you get the point? Exemption. Client's fees up to what? 20 lakhs. Need not do the disclosure. Audit of which entities? Public undertakings, nationalized bank, because this is a clear-cut case of RTI, right to what? Information. So in these cases, you are not getting covered under the PI provisions. It means exemption is given directly to the clients up to 20 lakhs and these organizations. Now, let me tell you one thing. You just look at this chart and you will automatically understand what I'm trying to tell. Suppose you are an auditor of ITC, Bandhan Bank, XYZ Insurance, Potato Chips Limited and Orange Juice Private Limited. Your total revenue is how many crores? Your firm ka total revenue is what? 15 crores. How much you are getting? First of all, tell me, ITC is a which company? Is listed a pi? What is the first thing comes to your mind? Limit 20%. How much you are earning from here? What is the 4 by 15 into 100? 26.67. Is it more than 20%? Disclosure required or not required? Required. Is it clear? Second, Bandhan Bank. Again, it is a which one? Listed. Pi or not? Yes. But audit fees is how much? 13.33%. Is it more than 20% or less than? Required or not required? Not required. What is the next one? Insurance. Insurance is again a what? I told you na, bank insurance, they are all called pi. Yes, it is a pi. But what is your revenue? 6.67. Less than 20%. Required or not required? Not required. What is the next one? Potato Chips Limited. Unlisted public company. Is it a pi or not a pi? But revenue is what? 13.33%. Is it 40%? Less or more than that? Less than that. Required or not required? Not. Last one. 6 out of 15 is 40%. How much is that? 40%. Required or not required? Required. 40% or more. Am I correct or not? Did you understand? So all this I told you just to make you understand one threat. What is that? Intimidation threat. So these are the new provisions which came. Did you understand the point? So in case you are the auditor of pi continuously 2 years, your revenue from that pie is 20% or more, do you have to make a disclosure to whom? ICA. And in case of non-pie, 40% or more. What was the earlier limit? 15%? 15%. Is it clear to all of you? 100%? कोई doubt? पक्का? Now can we start professional ethics main? चलो जल्दी से start करेंगे and wind up करेंगे. Now these were some of the extra things you need to know under the professional ethics. Now let us start with professional ethics in one flow. Okay. First of all, in the professional ethics, you have to first of all cover all the definitions. Please tell me what is the first definition we are covering is what? Chartered accountant. jaldi se padhenge. Sections are too small. Major concentration will be on the word schedules. Section. Who is a chartered accountant? Who is qualified as a member of ICA and whose name is enrolled in what? Register of members. So you are known as what? Chartered accountant. You are a qualified person from ICA and your name is mentioned in what? Rome. What is Rome? Register of members issued by whom? Preserved by whom? ICA. What is section 2 subsection 2? 2 subsection 2 is member deemed to be in what? Practice. Dekho, if you are practicing in accountancy, you are a member deemed to be in practice. If you are practicing in auditing, you are a member deemed to be in practice. If you are practicing in helping the people in preparation of what? Financial statement, data, records, book, compliance of which information? Financial, verification, certificate on which accounting? Financial. Helping in presentation or certification of what? Financial. And renders which services? Professional, which is known as what? Attestation services. In all the cases, you will be called as a what? Member deemed to be in practice. But main point is something which you have to understand this one. Look at this star mark point, read. ACA. What is ACA? And how it is different from FCA? Less than. If less than 5 years of continuous practice, you are what? At 5 years or more? Sure. There's no other route. Is there any other route by which we can become FCA? Even if you were not an ACA, but you worked like an ACA in a particular industry and you have an evidence to show it to the council, I worked like a 5 years, like an what? ACA. And if the council is what? Satisfied, again you can turn yourself into what? FCA. It is not always that you become an FCA via ACA route. Are you getting it? Being a non-ACA also you can become what? FCA stands for fellow chartered accountant. Like I am an FCA right now. Am I correct or not? So I am a fellow, but I came via ACA route. Am I correct? But other people can also come via other route. But let's leave that thing aside. An ACA or FCA employed for which purpose? Training of what? Article assistant. In a which firm? CA firm. Also deemed to be in what? Practice. So suppose some CA firm hired you for giving the training to their which persons? Article assistant. And you are under the which category? ACA or FCA. Again, you will be treated as member deemed to be in practice. Major, this was the second definition. Main definition is this, MCOS. What is MCOS? Management, consultancy and other services. Now, let me tell you one thing. There are so many services you can do. There are so many services you can do as a what? Practicing CA. But see, can't be provided by a member in practice who is already involved in what? If you are already doing these services in some company or organization, to these companies, MCOS you can't provide because it is prohibited under section number 144. Management consultancy services. Do you remember that? What you are already working in a company as a which auditor? Statutory auditor, periodical auditor, tax service, tax representations, advisory on what? Tax matters, acting as a what? Liquidator, trustee, administrator, receiver, executor and what? Arbitrator. Then in that case, these MCOS services which we are going to read now, you are allowed to provide or not allowed to provide? Not allowed to provide. Is it clear? So what are the things you have to keep it in mind? You are not allowed to provide if you are already into what? These services. But if you are not into these services, you are allowed MCOS. So MCOS is prohibited when? When you are already engaged in these activities. Is it clear to all of you? Now question is, sir, what do you mean by MCOS? MCOS includes which services? Financial man. Can you read what kind of services you can give in financial services? Asset mix decision, cash flow statement, fund flow statement, capital budget. FM, you know FM subject? Chapters name you don't remember? Write all the chapters name. What are the chapters name you have? Cash flow statement, fund flow statement, cost of capital, capital budgeting, investment decision, financing decision. All that comes under which services? Financial management service. Then you can also give the which services? Management services basically relating to costing, like inventory management, material handling, market research, demand studies, management accounting system, cost control, costing methods, and management decision making. These are all known as what? Management. Tell me the two services which you can give. Financial management services, management accounting services. You can also engage in these kind of audits. What are the audits? Management audit, operational audit, quality audit, energy audit, and environmental audit. These are the 5 audits also you can do. Tell me the 3 services now. FM services, management account. Okay, let me ask you one thing. Cost reduction, cost optimization, and capital budgeting. Finance, asset mix decisions, management audit. Audit services, operational audit, internal, yes, and quality, yes, environment and energy audit. Did you get the 3 services? Actually, it's a very huge definition I am making you understand in this way, so that as and when you see this word, you can say that it is included in MCOS or it is not included. Let me tell you one thing. What are the 3 things not included? Pub. Remember this. Portfolio management, underwriting, brokerage. These 3 are not MCOS. Remaining all are what? MCOS. Are you getting the point? What 3 are not MCOS? Pub. What is pub? Portfolio, underwriting, bro. That is completely not allowed at all. Prohibited under 144 also. Prohibited under 2 subsection 2 as well. Did you get the point? So what 3 are completely prohibited? Portfolio management, underwriting, brokerage. Okay, let's see. Policy making and trainings, business policies, corporate policies, diversification, behavioral sciences, designing conduct of trading, job descriptions, work study, and job evaluation. These kind of services also you can give to your client. You can also give your client the which services? HR. HR means when handling where human resource, like hiring, selection, recruitment, setting up the wage and executive incentive plans. Then IT related services also you can give, like selection of hardware and selection of what? Software, EDP, enterprise data processing, electronic data processing, training to the employees in the which environment? Automated. So tell me the 6 services you can provide. Financial management services, management accounting services, audit services, and then IT services, HR services, and what? Policy making services. Now, major point. What is this? Advisory and consultant, not involved in that. Don't make the prospectus. Advise them in making the prospectus. Difference समझ में आया? What is the word used? Advisory and consultant, not involved in making it. Only consultation. Consultation where? In what? Prospectus. Consultant to issue. Drafting the prospectus. Formalities with recognized stock exchange. Compliance with LODR. What is LODR? Audit committee, corporate governance में listing obligation and disclosure. Completing formalities with what? SEBI. Again and again I am saying not to be involved. Only working as what? Advisor and what? Consultant. Not making the prospectus. Helping them in making the what? Prospectus as an advisor. Not involved in publicity. Helping them in what? Publicity. Means what? You can be their marketing channel. Which channel? Marketing channel. Means what? Advertisement media. You will not be the advertisement media for your client. You will help your client in searching what? Advertising media. Who will do the advertisement for your client? Conference arrangements, bankers to the issue, collection centers. Next one, consultants for selection of under. ये क्या है? ये तो allowed है, not allowed है? Not allowed is it to be that, but helping them in finding the underwriters you can. Suppose client came to me, बोल रहा है रोहित सर आप मेरे underwriter बनोगे? So what you will say? Sorry boss, I can't. क्योंकि I am allowed or prohibited. Sir, help to kar do. Yes, that I can do. It means you can be what? Consultant, but you're not involved in that. What you are can be consultant of? Underwriters, portfolio management, printers, advertisement agency, post issue activity, dispatch of certificate, investment counseling, bank recovery agent. Can you be a bank recovery agent or you can be a consultant to find a bank recovery agent? Consultant to find. Insurance financial advisory services. Now, issue management services acting as registrar to issue, share transfer, transmission, transposition agent and keep COE in mind. What is this? They are saying that get involved and become what? Registrar. You are allowed to become what? Registrar. You are allowed to become what? Share transfer agent. You are allowed to have do what? Transmission, transposition agent. But keep COE in mind. Code of ethics, integrity. By word, integrity, objectivity, confidentiality. ये mind में रखना. But these things you are allowed. What you are not at all allowed? Pub. What is pub? So it's time for me to ask you the section number 2, subsection 2. Should I ask you? Pakka. Can I be helper in drafting the prospectus? Can I draft the prospectus? No. Can I be a helper in finding underwriters? Can I be the underwriter? Portfolio manager? But helping them in finding? Can I be broker? Helping them in finding? But can I be a share transfer agent? Can I be a share transfer agent? Yes. Can I be a registrar? Can I be helping them in transmission? Transposition? Keep what in mind? Right. Can I help them in HR policies? Can I help them in decision makings? Can I help them in job evaluations? Can I help them in energy audit, environmental audit, internal audit, management, operational, qualified, control system audit? Yes. Can I help them in trainings to their employees? Can I help them in, finding the advertisement media? Can I be their advertisement media? But can I help them in finding? Can I do broker services? But can I help them in finding a broker? Can I help them in doing the LODR compliances? Can I help them in completing with compliance with the recognized stock exchange? Can I help them in investment decision, financing, asset mix, inventory handling, material handling, supply and demand evaluation? Yes. Did you get the point? Major things which you have to understand where you can't be involved, but you can be a helper or advisor or consultant, but you are not allowed. Only 3 things you are allowed to do directly. What is that? Registrar, share transfer, and there also they gave this thing in mind. What they are saying? Keep the code of ethics in mind. Is it clear to all of you? This is called your section number 2, subsection 2, definition of MCOA. I'm a statutory auditor in one company. Can I provide these services? Tax preparer, liquidator, administrator, trustee, executor, receiver. Allowed or not allowed? I'm helping them in direct tax audit. I'm a tax auditor. Why are you confused? Direct tax auditor means what? Tax auditor. I'm helping them in GST. Only helping them in GST, not doing GST audit. Anyways, GST audit is what? Abolished. Now, can I provide MCOS services? But I'm a periodical auditor in one company. Matlab statutory auditor. Can I provide MCOS or not allowed? Not allowed. Under section 144. Not allowed, prohibited there. Did you get the point? Chartered Accountants Act and Companies Act will never go inconsistent with each other. They help each other in all the material things. Now section number 2 is also over. Now let's move to section number 4. What is that? Register of members. Acha, what are the 2 ways of becoming the FCA I told you? First one is what? This one. After serving 5 years of continuous practice as an associate member can turn into a what? FCA. But you have to make an application. ICA voluntarily does not do. You apply to ICA, boss, I have completed my how many years? Enter me into the FCA register. Or what is the second method? If you are not in what? Practice. But who is not in practice but registered at what? Associate. Not less than what? 5 years and can show to the council his requisite experience. Like a practicing CA, council may allow to be entered as an what? FCA. अब मैं तुम्हें एक क्वेश्चन दूंगा, ध्यान से आंसर देना. I am a qualified CA, but I never obtained membership number. I never obtained COP, obviously. But I worked like a practicing CA for 6 years. One day I went to ICA. मैंने बोला, सर ये मेरा relevant experience है. What a practicing CA does, I did all these services. Please enroll me into the register of FCA. Allowed or not allowed? Why not allowed? He is not. क्या क्या क्या? He is not what? Registered. Qualified, amma. But you need to be qualified only, or you need to be qualified plus registered as associate. You have to register as what? Associate. You are not doing practice, that is fine. But you have to be qualified and registered as what? Associate. Then having 5 years of what? Experience. Like a what? ACA. Then you can apply to whom? ICA. Are you getting the point? Read this point again. Who is not in what? Practice. But what is written this word? Registered as an what? Associate. For not less than 5 years. You were associate, but you were not holding COP. Are you getting the point? It means you are neither an associate nor holding COP. Now you are allowed or not allowed? But you were associate but not holding COP, having 6 years of experience. Now you are allowed or not allowed? You are allowed, but I say must give you the FCA or may. What is the word written? I counsel may. It means council may have a right to reject your application as well. Associate but not in practice for at least how many years? 5 years. Is it clear to all of you? Now, what is section number 6? Talks about what? COP. What is COP? Acha, how many of you know that we cannot make the body corporate? Can we practice in the form of body corporate? Pakka. Under which act? Companies Act. Under which act? But under Chartered Accountants Act, you are allowed. MCC. Management Consultancy Company. You are allowed to make. You will not hold COP. You will hold CCOP. Corporate Certificate of Practice. What is CCOP, everyone? These are some of the facts which might not be there in your material, whatever you have read, but that is a fact. You are allowed to make MCC, Management Consultancy Services. ICA will only allow you to make a body corporate. There is one condition. In MCC, you will never do audit services. You will never do which services? Audit. Being a non-auditorial services, you can incorporate a what? Management Consultancy Services by holding CCOP. Corporate Certificate of what? Practice. But we are not going to talk about that. That is just for your information. We are now talking about what? COP. A member can't practice without holding a valid what? COP either in India or elsewhere, which is also what? Revocable. Can I say revoke your certificate of practice at any point of time? If they will find you guilty of any professional misconduct or other misconduct. Designation as a chartered accountant. Please tell me, what if you are a qualified CA and holding a COP? What you can only write below your name? Chartered accountant. But what if you are a CA, CS, CMA as well? Are you allowed to use a word called chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant? Or only chartered accountant? But can you prefix or suffix the word CS and CMA? Yes. So you are only and only allowed to use one designation. What is that one? Chartered accountant. Is it clear, everyone? I am MP MLA. Can I use bracket में member of parliament? Member of legislative assembly? Why? मैं हूँ. I am. But I am a practicing CA as well. Allowed or not allowed? Only one designation is allowed. Always remember. Only one. What is that one? Chartered account. Can I write MP? Yes. Can I write MLA? Yes. But I'm not allowed to write member of parliament. Designation gives your impression to the other party. Are you getting the point? And ICA says that I'm not having any problem if you write CS, CMA, MP, MLA, BCom, this and that. But don't use the designation other than what? Chartered accountant. Did you get the point? Where it is written? In section number 7. Now, tax consultant allowed or not allowed? Company secretary, cost accountant not allowed. Suffixes are allowed? Yeah, you don't know. Prefixes or suffixes? So can I use my name? I'm a practicing CA. So can I use CA Rohit Grover, chartered accountant? I'm a practicing CA. On my home nameplate, can I use the word CA Rohit Grover and in the bracket chartered accountant full? Yes. I'm a non-practicing CA. Can I use this now? What I can use only? CA Rohit Grover. Chartered accountant word you can only use when you are holding what? COP. As simple as that. Keep one thing straight into your head, right? तो CS, CMA, ACCA, CPA, DISA, MBA, CIMA, MP, MLA, allowed or not allowed? Allowed. But only in the which forms? Abbreviations. Not allowed full forms. Clear? Full form only one thing is allowed. What is that? And which two professions can be practiced together? Only LLB and CA are the only two professions which you can practice together. But ensure you should have a separate stationery for them. तो मतलब you can't have a same visiting card. क्योंकि in one case you will write advocate and one place पे you will write chartered accountant. So make sure that you make this kind of nameplate. If any criminal comes to you, turn around. I'm a criminal lawyer. Or if any audited comes to you, turn around. I'm a chartered accountant. But make sure that you should have a separate letterhead, separate visiting cards, and separate stationery for the both profession. But yes, and remember, ICAI always permits you. Problem comes getting the permission from Bar Council of India. Bar Council of India sometimes does not permit you to do practice along with what? CA. ICA has a pre-approved permission to you. No problem with that. Are you getting the point? But these are the only two professions which you can practice what? Together. But on a nameplate at the resident, what are the things you can write? Name you can write. Can I write word chartered accountant? But can I write my firm's name? Why? अरे मेरी firm है भाई. You know what the ICA says that? ICA says the name you write, CA Rohit Grover, designation you write chartered accountant, but not allowed to write the word firm's name. Why? Because that will be treated as your branch. Your residence will be treated as your branch. And you know that branch rules between 50 kilometers wala case. Am I correct or not? So better only write the name and designation. What is not written? Firm name should not be allowed. Is it clear? What are the disabilities under section 8? If you have not completed the age of what? You are insane or what? Unsound. You are undischarged what? And you are discharged insolvent, but you have not obtained certificate stating that insolvency was due to misfortune only. What does that mean? See, I am discharged insolvent means what? I am no longer a insolvent. Am I correct or not? But I am undischarged insolvent means I am still what? Insolvent. But what is this written? You are a which insolvent? But what is this point? Not obtained certificate from the court stating that insolvency was due to what? It just happened ki I declared myself as what? Insolvent. I did not take somebody's money and did the fraud. Are you getting the point? So make sure that it is misfortune insolvency, not the other insolvency. So who are the 4 people who are disabled from being the member in ICA? Not completed the age of 21, unsound, insane, undischarged insolvent, discharged insolvent, but unfortunately you don't have that certificate from the court stating that the misfortune insolvency it was. 5th one, convicted for an offense of moral turpitude and served the imprisonment under his ability and removed by whom? Central government. And guilty of PM and OM. What is PM and OM? Professional misconductor. In all these 6 cases you are what? Disabled under section number 8. Now under section number 20, when your name will be removed from the register of members, when you are Atma met with Paramatma. Second one, you voluntarily applied for what? Removal. Third one, does not pay your renewal fees to the council on or before which September 30th. And all disabilities under section 8. Please tell me 9 cases. So you to wrote 4. But we wrote last point na. Tell me the 9 cases under which you are removed from the members. Except the first one, not completing the age of 21 will not come here. Second one, you are insane, removed. Is undischarged insolvent, removed. Discharged insolvent, not having a certificate, removed. Offense of moral turpitude, removed. Guilty of professional misconduct, other misconduct, removed. And you are dead, you voluntarily applied and you did not pay your fees on time. On or before which September? When your cancellation of COP may happen, all the above points of what? Removal. And what is the second extra point? When I say found out that COP was issued to you on a which information? Say for example, you gave a fraudulent information and I say by mistake gave you what? COP. Later on I say found its mistake and they may have the right to cancel your what? COP at the later stage. Once it is cancelled, is there any possibility to restore your COP? Answer is yes. You can get it restored by paying the required fees. You are not permanent cancelled unless you are coming under the DC, disciplinary committee. They may cancel your COP permanently. Nobody else can cancel your COP permanently. Next point. This is the main point which may come in your examination. Maintenance of which office? Branch office. When a chartered accountant or the firm of chartered accountant in practice opens any new branch office, it is required to be headed by what? Another member of the institute. Either he should be another partner, another practicing CA, or full-time what? Employee. If there are any changes in the management, it shall be informed to whom? I say. Rule is this. When you're maintaining the two offices, one should be headed by one CA, another one should be headed by another CA. But this rule has some exemptions. What are the exceptions? Point number one. If your branch is in the which? Same में ये building के first floor is my branch 1, third floor is my branch 2. Do I need 2 CAs now or one only? Second, in the what? Guntur, Broadipet and railway station, 2 places are there. Or I don't know the other places actually. I only know 2. That's the reason I kept the 2 places. Now please tell me now. Do I need to have 2 people in the same Guntur city? And what is the third one? Within 50 kilometers from the end of what? Municipal limits of the first of it. So there comes the question. Please give me the answer. This is the question. This is your city 1. This is your office actually. This is your office. From the office, the municipal limits of city 1 are getting over after how many kilometers? So your municipal cities are, this is your municipal limits. This is over after 12 kilometers. From here, it is 35 kilometers away one another city. Once you enter the municipal limits of the another city, inside there is 13 extra kilometers you have to go and your second office is there. So are you taking 12 plus 35 or you are taking 35 plus 13? Why? You have to start it from the end of the municipal limits of the first city in which your first office is what? Located. So this matters or does not matter? Does not. Only what matters? 35 plus 13. Total comes to less than 50. Second office required or not required? Not required. Will your answer change if it is 18? Yes. But will your answer change if this is 18? Does not matter. So did you understand what I said? You always have to calculate the 50 kilometers from your which office? Acha, do the vice versa question. And if it is 15. Suppose your first office is that. First office is that. Now 35 plus 50. Is it within 50 or exactly 50 now? What to do? Problem is with crocodile mouth. Required or not required? Required. Greater than equals to what? 50. May you need a what? Separate in charge. Did you get the point? This is the exemption number 1. What are the 3 exemptions you understood? Same premises, same city within 50 kilometers starting from the end of the first city's municipal limits. Point number 1 understood? Point number 2, if you have an office located in which area? Hilly area. But suppose your office is in Rohtang Pass. Rohtang Pass is a very hilly area, always filled up with what? Snow. Suppose Leh and Ladakh, Spiti Valley. So you are in Spiti Valley, your office is generally covered with what? Snow. In that case, you can come down to the which area? Plain area. But these 5 conditions to be satisfied. Condition number 1, allowed to open the office in the nearby which area? Plain office. Second one, for maximum how many months? 3 months. To keep the main office always opened for what? Corresponding. So let it be anything. Roads are closed, snow is there, roads are not at all working, but still you have to keep open your what? Main office. For the which purpose? Correspondence. Next one, to keep a board at the plain area office only up to how many months? 3 months. Once you left, you are not allowed to keep your board just because next year you are coming again. Take the board also along with you. Next year again you are coming, then install the board again. And next point, whenever you are opening and closing your plain area office, you always have to inform to whom? I say. Tell me the 5 conditions. Easy लग रहा है? Tell me the 5 conditions. अरे प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स में है ही नहीं, अननेसेसरली इतना बड़ा इट इज बिग, बट देयर इज अ वे ऑफ डूइंग इट. आर यू गेटिंग द पॉइंट? Easy. So I think almost our sections are going to get complete in coming 5 minutes. Please tell me now, What if your office is in hilly area? Plain, 3 months. Hang the board up to 3 months. Every time opening and closing inform to whom? I say. And next one, keep the main office open for the purpose of what? Correspondence. Next one, section 24-28. They are saying that if you are not a member, but you are falsely claiming to be a member. Not only falsely claiming, you are also claiming that you are a bloody chartered accountant. First of all, you are not a member. You are claiming that you are a member. Plus, you are claiming that you are a practicing CA. And you are a member, but not holding a COB, but claiming to be a chartered accountant. In both the cases, you will get covered under section number what? 24. And what is the penalty? And let me tell you another one also. Deceiving by showing that certification or diploma is equivalent to what? Degree awarded by whom? Council. You know now our ICA ka stamp. It's an eagle in between. So you got one degree which was very much equivalent to vulture. The stamp was having a vulture. You are saying, yeah, look at this. ICA ka stamp and vulture ka. They're looking like what? Same. So even though I'm not a chartered accountant, but because of the stamp, I look like a what? Chartered accountant. So I am deceiving the other person thinking that I'm a chartered accountant or not. So in that case, in both the cases, what is your penalty? Penalty number one. Look at the ICA is a huge penalty. If you're doing it for the first time, fine up to what? 1,000. Can't afford. Second conviction onwards. If you do this mistake again, fine up to what? 5,000 and imprisonment up to what? I sincerely appeal to ICA to add 3 more zeros. Seriously, then only people will. Otherwise, what will happen? I will take from one client 1 lakh rupees. I say, hey, you are doing a mistake. Okay, I'm ready to pay 1,000. It's a loophole only, na? Simple si baat hai. How much is the fee? If it is 10 lakhs, the other person will think twice before deceiving the people that my degree is equivalent to what? CA. But with this 1 lakh you took from the client, I say fund. Okay, I'm right. Second time you will be willing to do again. Why? Because the fees is huge. What is the fine? 5,000. Or you may go, because it is written or, and we know CAs how to break the laws. We know the loopholes. I will pay fine. I will not go to what? Imprisonment. So you will keep on doing subsequent by end up paying only how much? 5,000. Right? Section number 25. Company engaged in practice of what? Accountant. See, you are not allowed to practice in the form of company. Just now I told you. But yes, you are allowed to practice in the form of company when it comes to which act? C Act. But unfortunately, in the market, we don't comply with C Act that much. We comply with what? Companies Act. So that way, if you are practicing in the form of company, first conviction fine up to what? Second conviction only what? Fine. Third, signing the documents by other than what? Member of the instrument. No person other than member of the instrument allowed to sign in his professional capacity to sign the documents on or behalf of which firm? CA firm. यहाँ पे थोड़ा penalty they have given good. If you are allowing someone to sign the documents on your firm's name, then what is the penalty on the first conviction, please? Minimum 5,000. Maximum what? 1 lakh. And second conviction onward, this will become double, this will become double. Am I correct? 5,000 will become 10,000, 1 lakh will become 2 lakh. But imprisonment up to what? 1 year or both. So remember, please tell me, falsely claiming to be a member, what is the penalty? First, second time, 5,000 or imprisonment up to 6 months. I'm allowing someone to sign the documents on my behalf or my firm's behalf. 5,000 minimum, maximum 1 lakh. Second time onwards, 10,000 maximum 2 lakhs, imprisonment up to 1 year or both. Next one, KYC of the client. It is always what in nature? Recommended, but it's better that you should always keep these data of your client with you in your client register. What is the name? First one, name of the entity, type and nature of the entity, business description, name of the ultimate parent company, name of the parent and what? Affiliates. Obviously, company, so its PAN and SIN should be there with you. Next one, DIN of what? Directors, their name and what? Address. Number of directorships they already hold in the other company. What is the type of engagement you are engaged for? Any other non-compliance of what? Laws and regulation. And name of what? Ultimate parent auditor. What is this and this point? Parent company and ultimate parent company auditor. And which information? By the way, what is KYC? Know your customer or know your client. That's why these are the basic informations we need to maintain in our office when we're maintaining the registers of our client. Is it clear to all of you? यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Now, main points we are going to start. First of all, तो you have to consume this chart very properly. अब main start होगा, ठीक है ना? अब बताओ, break चाहिए? But sorry, I can't give क्योंकि I have already given you the break. तो अभी 1 hour continuously मारेंगे and let's do up to 7th clause. 5th और 6th clause तक तो minimum करना है क्योंकि once we'll cross the 7th clause of part 1, then by the evening 3 we are going to continue again. Evening 6 तक अपना professional ethics हो जाएगा, ठीक है ना? Then the last 1.5 or 2 hours will continue for peer review and quality review. We'll try to complete by evening 6. Are you getting the point? Including this hour 1 now. So total 4 hours more to be spent on PE. I think worthy to get the 20 marks in return. Okay? Now, let's start with this one. Total professional ethics is divided into how many schedules? 4 parts, 3 parts. Total how many parts? 7. First 12 clauses. No. Just understand. 12 clauses. 2 clauses, 3 clauses, 2 clauses, 19. Total how many? And then 10, 4, 1. Repeat again. 2 schedules. How many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 12, 2, 3, 2. Total 19. Then 10, 4, 1. PM for MIP. Professional misconduct for MIP. Professional misconduct for MIS, professional misconduct for both, other misconduct for both, professional misconduct for MIP, professional misconduct for both, other for both. पहले तो इसे consume करो. Try to understand this. How many clauses total? 34. 19 plus 15. Again, 2 schedules. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Part 1, professional misconduct for members in practice having 10 clauses. Part 2, professional misconduct for members in service having 2 clauses. Third, professional misconduct for both of them having 3 clauses. Fourth, other misconduct for both of them having 2 clauses. What is the next one? Professional misconduct for members in practice having 10 clauses. Professional misconduct for members for both having 4 clauses, and other misconduct for the members both having 1 clause. In total 19 plus 15, total 34. Shall we start now? What is the first one? Schedule 1. So 1. Am I correct? Always write clause first, part, and then schedule. Always remember like this. Okay? Let's start. Acha, before that, we have to start. ये तो भूल ही गए थे अपनी. Disciplinary mechanism. See, it's a very simple thing. Try to understand. Half of the chart some of you are not even aware of. Where it has come from, it has come directly from the Code of Ethics, ESB standard board say I have taken. Now try to understand. Disciplinary mechanism में there are total 4 authorities. DD, BOD, DC and AA. What is DD? Directorate Discipline. What is DD? BOD, Board of Discipline. DC, Disciplinary Committee. AA, Appellate Authority. Whenever you want to make a complaint about your member in service or member in practice, you always make a complaint to whom? DD, Directorate Discipline. अब Directorate Discipline will decide whether you are guilty or you are not guilty. But unfortunately, Chartered Accountant Act has not given him a power to shut down the matter. Let's first wind up that part. What is that part? Imagine he thinks that ki complaint is not that much useful and I think that ki person is not guilty. Who thinks that? DD. Thinks that the member in service or practice is not guilty, but he has not been allowed to shut down the matter. He will forward the matter to whom? Board of Discipline. Now, Board of Discipline, if agrees with whom? DD. He has a right to what? Shut down the case. Am I correct or not? But if the Board of Discipline is disagreeing with what? DD. And BOD thinks that yes, member is what? Guilty. He may ask DD to do what? Investigate further. And if he thinks that ki this case belongs to whom? Schedule 1. Who will handle? BOD only will handle. But if he thinks that case belongs to what? Schedule 2 or both, he will forward the case to whom? DC. Imagine. Complaint came to whom? He thought that you are not guilty. He forwarded the case to whom? BOD. BOD agrees with DD, shut down the case. BOD does not agree with the DD, tells the DD to do the further investigation. Case belongs to Schedule 1. BOD only will handle. Case belongs to both Schedule or Schedule 2. It will forward the case to whom? DC. Now, case arises ki if the DD thinks that you are what? Guilty. And it belongs to what? Schedule 1. Immediately case will be forwarded to whom? BOD. And if it belongs to both or what? 2. It will be forwarded to whom? DC. Is it clear? Next one. BOD will do now investigation. Case is in the hands of whom? BOD. BOD thinks that you are not guilty. Case is shut. If DC also thinks that you are not guilty, case is shut. Is it clear, everyone? Now, if BOD thinks that you are what? Guilty. BOD has 3 powers. What are the 3 powers? तो बताएगा इसे क्या बोलते हैं? Reprimand the member मतलब. Last warning. What is a reprimand the member means? Last warning. Or else action will be taken. Okay. Second thing, suspension up to how many months? 3 months. Third thing, fine up to what? 1 lakh. Who can do that? BOD. But DC can do what? Same thing. Reprimand, but suspension for more than 3 months, sometimes what? Permanently, and fine up to what? 5 lakhs. अब बताओ टोटल DD समझ में आया पूरा? DD guilty. Schedule 1 BOD. Schedule 2 DC. Schedule 1 BOD. BOD thinks you are not guilty. Shut down the case. Guilty. What are the 3 powers? Reprimand, suspension up to 3, fine up to. ठीक है? Now case is Schedule 2 or both. DC. DC thinks you are not guilty. Shut down. But DC thinks you are guilty. Reprimand, permanent, maybe permanent, or fine up to 5 lakhs. And if the DD itself thinks that you are not guilty, case to whom? BOD. BOD agrees with DD, shut down. Does not agree, further investigation. Found out Schedule 1, himself will take care. Found out that Schedule 2 or both. Crystal clear? Now, after these 2 things have been done by BOD and DD. Now see, suppose member is not satisfied with the order passed by BOD or DC, or DD is also not satisfied with the order passed by BOD and DC. None of them is satisfied, or one of them is not satisfied. They will file a further appeal within how many days? 90 days to the authority called what? AA. What is AA? Appellate Authority. Appellate Authority has 4 powers. What are the 4 powers? It will set aside. What do you mean by set? Like cancel the BOD's order or cancel the DC's order. What is the second one? Confirm. Affirmative. It means yes, whatever they have said is right. What is this? Change. Increase or decrease in what? Penalty. And if it thinks necessary, the case can be reverted back to whom? BOD and DC for further. It may reprimand these 2 authorities. You have not done the proper investigation. Do the further investigation. And what is the last one? So tell me, what are the 5 powers? Acha, one more question. This is the time period of how many days? What if you did not file the appeal within 90 days? Yes, you may get additional what? If there's a sufficient reason. Which reason? Sufficient. And what are the 5 powers of AA? Set aside, confirm, change, or revert back the case, and finally any order it may think fit. Now question is, what is DD? DD stands for member of what? Council plus staff plus members. The one who initiates the investigation also acts as a what? Secretary of BOD. Also act as a what? Secretary of BOD. BOD mein how many people? 3 people. How many people are there in BOD? 3. Who is the first person? What is the first person name? Presiding. 1 person nominated by council. 1 person nominated by central government. And 4th person is secretary. Who is secretary of BOD? DD. So tell me, how many total 4 people? In where? BOD. What is the person number 1? Presiding officer. 1 person nominated by council. 1 person nominated by central government. And 1 is what? Secretary. Total 4. Now what is the next person? DC. What is DC? How many members? 5 members. Now one person is known as, but who is going to be the presiding officer? Must be the president or vice president of whom? I say. So sir, who was the presiding officer of earlier case? The one who is having a requisite knowledge in what? Law and disciplinary matters and what? Profession. So tell me, what is the difference between BOD and DCU found in presiding officer? What is his qualification? BOD presiding officer. Any person who has the knowledge of law matters, disciplinary matters and profession. But who should be the presiding officer of DC? Either president of ICA or vice president of ICA. How many? Two more people. One nominated by council, one nominated by central government. Here two nominated by council and two nominated by central government. Same thing. But there is one more thing. Read this star mark. As many DCs can be made for what? Smooth functioning. What does that mean? If you think that one DC is not enough, the council may make what? As many DCs. And last but not the least, AA. What is AA? Here also how many members? 5 members. But unfortunately, we will not call it as presiding officer. We will call him an. And this is or retired judge of whom? High Court. And again, 2 members nominated by whom? 2 members nominated by central government. अब मेरे को चारों का पॉइंट बताओ. Who is DD? Multiple people or single person? Who initiates the investigation? Also works as a what? Secretary of what? BOD. BOD how many members? 4. Presiding, nominated by ICA, nominated by central government, 1 secretary, who is a DD. Am I correct? Then what is the qualification of presiding officer? Knowledge of law, disciplinary matters, profession. Who is DD? DC. 5 members. Presiding officer must be a president or vice president of ICA. 2 members nominated by council, 2 members nominated by next appellate authority. Again 5%. But who is the chairman? Retired or is judge of a high court. Am I correct? Or 2 members nominated by ICA, 2 members nominated by. Is it clear? So that brings an end to your which mechanism? Disciplinary. Do you understand the flow now? You also know how to handle the case, and you also know like who are composed in these particular authorities. Now it's time for us to understand the first schedule. What is the first schedule, everyone? Professional misconduct in relation to members in what? Practice. 40% way done is over. Now remaining in the next few hours. Now, what is the clause number 1? Read the clause number 1. I always believe that whenever you have the big sentences, try to break it into parts so that you can understand it, consume the word, each and everything. Okay, if you will understand the clause, your 50% of the work is done. Read this one. Allowing any person to practice in your name or in your firm's name other than what? What is this word? Add. He is either in your practice or employed by him. My question is, in my firm, there is one partner. Am I correct? In my firm, there is one partner. But he's a non-practicing partner. He's a what? Can I allow him to practice in my name or in my firm's name? Guilty or not guilty? Guilty. Because the person to whom you can allow can either be your partner or be your employee, and they must be what? CA in practice. ये 3 word याद कर लो बस. Whom you can allow. I will not tell you the negative clause. I'll convert it into what? Positive. So that you can. Whom you can allow. I can allow my partner. I can allow my full-time employee. But what is the condition common? They both must be CA in practice. Other than them, I cannot allow anybody else to practice in my name. My question number 1. Can I allow my employee? Yes or no? Yes, if he is a CA in practice. No, if he is not a CA in. Can I allow my partner? Yes, if he is a CA in practice. No, if he is not a CA in practice. Simple. Then otherwise, what you will be happening? You will be guilty under clause number 1. If you are allowing other than these 2 people. Okay, can I allow my partner who is not a practicing CA? Then I am guilty under 111. Can I allow my employee? who is a CA but not holding COP. Allow or not allowed? Pakka. My partner is a CA but not holding COP. Pakka. So what is the major thing? Partner employee allowed only when they are CA in practice. Ardhamainda sir? 100%. Shall we move to clause number 2? Now clause number 1 was allowing. Let's add one word. What is the word? Because these are the 34 words I have to tell you. What is the clause number 1? Allowing. Clause number 2, sharing. What is clause number 2? Sharing. What is 1? What is 2? Who is sharing? As a member in practice, I am sharing. What I am sharing? Please tell me what I am sharing. I am sharing my profit, commission, brokerage. And not only I am sharing, I am agreeing to share. Not only I am agreeing to share, I am allowing my partner. Not only I am allowing my partner, I am agreeing to allow my partner. I am sharing, I am agreeing to share. Allowing my partner, agreeing to allow my partner to share. What? Either our profits, commission, or brokerage, directly or indirectly, with a person other than these four. It means I can share with a member of what? Institute. I can share with my partner. I can share with my retired partner. I can share with the legal representative of dead partner. I can share with the other professional recognized by whom? Council. But other than these five people, if I'll share, I'm guilty under 211. Did you get the point? So please tell me, who is sharing? MIP. Who is allowing? MIP. To allow his what? Partner to share. What I'm sharing. So point number 1, who? Point number 2, what? Profit, commission, brokerage. Directly or indirect. To which people? Other than 5. Who are my 5 whom I can share? I can share it with another council member, partner, retired partner, legal representative of dead partner, and other professional. Other than them, am I allowed or not allowed? Otherwise, I am what? Guilty. Did you get the point? Now, let's go a little bit inside now. If a partner pays or agrees to pay, you are what? Guilty. If nothing shared but agreement entered to share, then also you are what? Because what is the word used? Agrees. Not only sharing, agrees to share also makes you what? Guilty. Next one. 53A regulation, who are the other professionals? Read this 8 points. Yesterday I already told you in company audit. Who are the 8 people? CS, CMA, actuarial scientist, BE, BTech, BArc, MBA, LLB. These are those other professionals with whom you can share. Member of the institute either in practice or not. Retired partner can be shared with the retired partner irrespective whether he is a member or not. After what? Retirement. This is a very relevant point. Sometimes I may ask you, कि you are sharing the emoluments of your partnership firm with the retired partner, but he has surrendered his COP and membership number. Can you still share with him? He is no longer your partner. He is a retired partner from your firm, but he surrendered his membership number and COP. Can you still share with him? It doesn't matter whether he is a member or not. Legal representative of which partner? Only if what allows partnership. अगर डीड में लिखा हुआ है कि विडो और डॉटर और सन whosoever is left after the death of my partner is allowed to come and take the share, then only you can share. Otherwise, not allowed. And sale of goodwill वाला point तो you already know. Can anybody tell me what is the provision relating to sale of goodwill? There is one sole proprietor. He died, but he is having a good reputation in the market. Can we sell the brand of that sole proprietor, goodwill of that sole proprietor, to another CA in practice? Yes. With whose permission? I say within 1 year from the death of that person. How many year? 1 year. Or the 1 year will start from the date when the dispute will get resolved. Let's say, for example, 2 sons are fighting. I will take Papa's property. Another is saying, I will take Papa's property. 7 years this case was going on. Am I correct or not? After 7 years, son 1 won. Am I correct or not? First son won. Now this 1 year time period will start after what? 7 years. Did you get the point? So who can sell? The widow and the legal representative of the deceased person can sell the goodwill. But what is a provision relating to sell? LR can sell the goodwill firm within how many years? 1 year from the debt intimating the fact to whom? I say. I say will keep the name of the firm in abeyance up to what? 1 year. Dispute of LR. Just now I told you, if the dispute is going on, when the 1 year will start? From the death or from the end of the dispute? So 1 year will remain kept and it will start from the end of the dispute. But the provision will remain what? 1 year. But these are the conditions to be satisfied. Read the condition number 1. The one who is applying for purchasing the goodwill must be a what? Member in practice. Must make a what? Written application to whom? I say intending to purchase. Within what? 1 year from the death. With a copy of what? Agreement of sale and with details of purchase consideration. It means on that sale copy it should be written that how much you are paying and sign off every successor. Attach succession certificate of any LR if what? Required. If the agreement is signed by one LR but obtain the NOC from what? Another. What does that mean? Though two brothers were fighting. One is saying, okay, I don't have NOC, my father died, I'm not a CA, so you please take. But make sure if the another brother is alive, you have to take the NOC from that another son. Next one. Give public advertisement inviting objections from anyone. Give one public advertisement कि I am buying the sole proprietor of this dead person. If anyone is having any objection in me buying it, please raise your objection. And shall raise the objection directly with whom? Regional Council. File a copy of advertisement with whom? Regional Council and decentralized office within 30 days of approval. File the form number 18 with whom? Council, and your sale of goodwill will be approved. Tell me the 9 conditions. Not need not necessarily. Tell me 4, 5. Point number 1. Who can buy? Member in practice. He should apply in oral form or written form. What he should sign? An agreement copy with a clear-cut indication of what is the purchase consideration he is paying. What if the one legal representative said NOC? Does he have to take NOC from another as well? Yes. If there is no succession certificate, you have to attach what? Succession certificate. Do we need to invite the objections? If anyone has objection, they will give the objection to MIP or they will give the objection to RC, Regional Council. And once the Regional Council, you have to apply to tell to the Regional Council, I have filed an application of what? Advertisement, and within 30 days of getting the advertisement done, approval will come in form number what? 18. This is how you can sell your what? Goodwill. Tell me the 2 clauses we have done. Allowing, sharing. अब समझ में आया? Second का opposite is third. Accepting. What is the third one? What is the second one? Sharing. What is the third one? What you are expecting? Accepting someone's share in their profit and business by you. So when you are sharing, you are guilty. Now when you are accepting, you are again what? Guilty. Read the third point again. Accepts or agrees to accept part of the profits of professional business from a person other than what? Institute and other professional prescribed by what? Council. So to whom you are sharing, are you getting the point? And you are not allowed to expect it from anybody else. But can I accept the part of share of the profits from the other member of institute or from the other professionals? Allowed. There who people are allowed to share, these are the same people allowed to what? Accept. From my partner, so I can. They need not write it over here. So don't be under the impression, sir, there were 5 people and here only what? 2. Those out of 5, 3 were partners only. Who are the 3 people? Partner, retired and deceased one. They have not written those 3 points. Rest remaining everything is what? Same. Did you get the point? So what was clause number 1? Allowing. Clause number 2? Sharing. Clause number 3? Accepting. Clause number 4? Partnership. What is clause number 4? Partnership. What do you mean by partnership? Please tell me. Entering into a partner. Remember, you can do work with them, but you are not allowed to do what? Partnership with them. Entering into a partnership in India or outside India with any person other than what? It means they are saying that I can enter a partnership with what? Another CA in practice. With the which people? 53A. Who are the 8 people in 53A? Just now I told you. CS, CMA, BTech, MBA, BArc, BE, Actuarial Scientist, LLB. These are the 8 people can I enter a partnership with? Yes. and a person who is a non-resident but under section 41 recognized by whom? Central government. अगर council permit करेगा तो I can also enter a partnership with what? NR. What is NR? Non-resident. So who are the three people I can enter a partnership with? Another CA in practice, another professional under 53A and 53B, and last one is what? A non-resident, generally not allowed, but if it is approved by whom? Council. Did you get the point? My question is, can I enter a partnership with SIMA of UK? No क्या? SIMA क्या है? Simple बोलो, foreign professional. Can I enter or I can't enter? Can I enter a partnership with CPA? But can I do work with them? वर्क में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. व्हाट इज अ मेजर कॉन्सेंट्रेशन? पार्टनरशिप. You should not enter a partnership with ACCA foreign professionals. Simple prohibition. Else you are what? Guilty. Is it clear? 100%. Tell me the four clauses. Allowing, sharing, accepting, partnership. Correct है नहीं है? Easy to remember like this? तो बताओ 4 to 1. Partnership, accepting, sharing, allowing. Now, read this explanation. This clause focuses on partnership with others which is included in the list given above. There are many professional bodies with whom ICA has entered MRA. What is MRA? Mutual क्या? Yes, mutual recognition agreements. जैसे I can enter a partnership with CPA of Iceland. Sorry, Ireland. Sorry, not Iceland. Ireland. I can enter a partnership with the CPA of Australia. That is also allowed. So there are some things which are allowed, but you are not allowed to enter a partnership with those professional bodies with which I say does not have MRA. What is MRA? Mutual recognition agreements. Up to 4 clauses if you have any doubt. क्योंकि major discussion is going to take place in 6 and 7. Up to 5 तक तो चिल्लर है सारे. Right? Now let's do the fifth one. अच्छा, what was the first 4? Allowing, sharing, accepting, partnership. Am I correct? Fifth one is what? Securing professional business from the persons. Other than means what? With these people I can. Can I secure the professional business with my partner? Yes. Employee? Yes. And other professionals who are covered under 53A and a chartered accountant in practice. Other than these people, you are not allowed. Now, can I secure professional business from a stranger who is neither my employee, nor my partner, nor covered under 53B, nor a chartered accountant in practice? Any random person came on the road, I said, give me professional business. Allowed or not allowed? Who are the 4 people with whom you are allowed? Partner, employee, another CA in practice, and what? 53A people. What is the focus of this clause? Is it partnership or securing? Securing what? Professional business. Am I correct or not? So if you will see the question where it is written that securing professional business from the people other than these 4 people, then in that case you will say that yes, he is guilty under 511. What is 511? Clause 5, part 1, schedule 1. Is it clear? Everything is clear? अभी तो मजा आएगा when we'll do 34 पे जब पहुंचेंगे ना, then I'll ask you what is 1211, what is 132, what is 211, like that. So there you will understand. But so far though it is going smooth. Am I correct? So tell me the 5 clauses. Allowing, sharing, accepting, partnership. 100% understood. Now comes the major explanation for the next 40 minutes. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक चाहिए तो ले लो, क्योंकि 6 will take a lot of time to make you understand. And 7 will definitely do after lunch because you can't consume 6 and 7 today. or matlab together right now. क्योंकि you need a lunch before consuming 7. But yes, by taking this 10 minutes break, you can consume 6. Do you want to take a 10 minutes break? Or should I leave you 10 minutes early? That's your call. मेरे को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. हाँ, ब्रेक चाहिए? जल्दी से ले लो 10 मिनट की ब्रेक. कम बैक जल्दी से.
So I think we are done with pi amendment. We are done with Noklar amendment. Professional ethics के some 2-3 amendments are there but not notified for your May 23 exams. So you need not do it, and unnecessarily don't waste your time on that as well. After getting qualified, do it. Am I correct or not? So in the RTP, it is specially written amendments relating to professional ethics but not applicable for May 23. So don't unnecessarily invest your time in doing that. Clear? Yeah. So I think majorly we are left with NBFC and peer review amendment. सर जल्दी आ जाता 10 मिनट. हाँ NBFC main PU only will take time. How many of you came today? And the one who's sitting along with you. This said you both. And 10 मिनट ही है चलता.
Chalo, let us start. Okay, clause number 6, everyone. So in the clause number 6, what are the first 5 clauses? Just tell me the name. First one, allowing, sharing, accepting, partnership, and securing the professional work. Now clause 6 may will go a little bit slow. Why? Because this clause needs your proper attention. This and 7th. Now from now onwards, whatever the clause we have, they are very much important. See, solicits the client and securing professional work from the client by using circulars, advertisement, personal communication, and interviews. See, you have to clearly understand the bifurcation between the 5 and 6. In the 5, they are saying that securing the professional work from the persons other than those 4. But here they are directly targeting in both the places from whom. First of all, tell me the meaning of soliciting, requesting the work from your client. See, it's a very simple logic behind this particular profession. They say that ki you are a bloody professional, you are qualified enough, and people should know that ki you are a chartered accountant. They should come with the work to you. You should not run behind the people to get a what? Work. As simple as that. The idea behind this clause to make you guilty is to prohibit you from demanding the work from your client. Don't be a beggar in front of your client saying that give me this and give me that. If he likes your work, he will give you. You should get the work on the basis of your competencies and qualities instead of getting the work on the basis of what? Requesting. That's why the word used is what? Soliciting. Or if you are securing the professional work from your client, not directly by soliciting, but by using what? Circulars. You're sending them the emails or you're giving them the invitation cards to specially come to your functions so that you can interact and have a relationship with them and they can give you the more work. Or by using the word called and what? Personal communication, or you went on to have a lunch or dinner with that people, have a social circle, and then while having a lunch only, oh sir, who is doing your tax audit? Getting done by somebody? Nah, I am here now. Like that. Are you understanding? So that kind of feeling, that is called personal communication, and by giving your what? Interview. Right or not? So these are the various things you are prohibited. But in all these sentences, there are 2 sentences more they have written in the clause which you are allowed. Point number 1, there is no problem if you are securing the professional work from what? It means you are allowed to solicit the work from another CA in practice. It's a very simple thing. Let me tell you one thing. This is the same thing happened with me as well. Now my senior was having one sole proprietorship firm and I'm also the partner in the same firm with him. So he's having 2 firms. I'm having my own 2 firms. So in the partnership firm, there was an abundance of work. Am I correct? And he was my senior, so he was already having a lot of work. He was unable to handle the assignments. So there was no harm during my early stages of my practice. I specifically myself demanded the work from him. So there is no harm if the one CA in practice is helping what? Another CA. Am I correct? Brotherhood. Are you understanding now? I want you also to grow. Having the enmity in your mind, but still I want you to what? Grow. So there is no problem securing the professional work from what? Another CA in practice. And there is no problem if you are replying to what? Tenders. What do you mean by replying to tenders? It means invitation came in the tender. You replied to the tender, that does not mean soliciting. Suppose government ने C&AG ने tender निकाला कि we are looking for the practicing CA firms having 5 years or 10 years of experience to get empaneled with us to do the PSU audits. I replied on that. Now, did I solicit the work or I just replied to a tender? These 2 things are allowed. But what is not allowed? Soliciting the client is not allowed, and demanding the work via circulars, advertisement, personal communication, and interview. I'm telling you, if you will concentrate on the language provided by CA Act, your 50% of the work is done. Are you here? Remaining things becomes just the guidelines. Major thing is what 2 things are allowed. Tell me. Securing the work from another CA in practice is allowed. And what is the second thing is allowed? Replying to the tender. Now we will go a little bit deeper into that. Advertisement rules. Firm CA is allowed to advertise with only the bare statement of what? Facts. That means if, say for example, there's a change in my address, change in the which number? Contact number, or dissolution of my firm. Say for example, in your firm, one of the student called AIR1, and I'm putting a big picture on the Times of India front page congratulating him. It means I'm telling to the outside world that I'm a factory of chartered accountants. You come and take the articleship under me and get a rank. BOGO, buy one, get one free. Now tell me one thing. Is it allowed or not allowed? Normal advertisement is allowed. What is allowed? Change in address, change in contact number, or dissolution of the firm. Just the bare statement of facts is allowed. Second thing, advertisement in ICA journals and newsletters may you are allowed to advertise your what? Name, designation, address, contact, email is are allowed. What is not allowed? Name of the firm. You are not going to solicit that this is my firm and come. Only what you are allowed, your name, designation, address, contact number, and what? Email. Actually, everything will covered here. If you carefully see. He needs an address. For the address, he needs to call you. Contact number, anyways, you are giving. Am I correct? But as per ICA guidelines, what is not allowed? Name of the firm. That may give the impression to the otherwise that you are showing your professional attainments. Empanelment for audit and professional work. Now, this is the main thing you have to understand. If you already had a knowledge that there is some particular work is going on, but they are not accepting your reply, and you are asking again and again, sir, what is the status of my application? Sir, what is the status of my application? That is called roving inquiries. Which inquiries? Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. It means that shows your desperation again. But say for example, if the existence of such work or panel is within the knowledge of whom? Members. That was what? Allowed. Not allowed if the member makes a what? Inquiry again and again. Are you getting the point? Again and again you should not ask, sir, what is the status of my tender? What is the status of my application? Did I get the work or not? Am I selected or not? So that shows your what? Desperation. So again it will be kind of solicitation only. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Next one. Achha, what is written? But after the closure of the empanelment, inquiring for the name in the selecting list, you are not guilty. What is this? Read the heading again. But after the what? Closure of empanelment. You are simply asking, am I selected or not? Just give me the statement of fact. I'm not asking you why I'm not selected. I'm just simply asking, am I selected or not? Then you are guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Telephone directory guidelines में क्या है कि your name should always only come in the which category? Chartered accountants category. Directory of the same town and city only you are allowed. You are not allowed to put your name in the another city. Second one, to be included in the which type? Normal type of letter. Abnormal types are allowed or not allowed? Say for example, all the CA's names are written in alphabetically. You are writing first. So Rohit Grover R comes at the proper time now when the alphabetically R will come. But I told them, gave them extra money to put my name in first. Everyone is written in the normal. My name is written in the bold manner. So allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. So next point. Order of the entry should be in which manner? Alphabetically. Publicity advertisement allowed or not allowed? The best chartered accountant, hyphen, CA Rohit Grover. ऐसा नहीं allowed. You are not allowed to advertise in the telephone directory. Next one. Abnormal and unreasonable payment is not allowed. Not to restrict any members from entry in what? Directory. There is someone whom I don't like. So I paid him extra money not to make my name bigger. I paid him money not to allow him to enter his name in the directory. So can I prevent another CA to enter his name in the directory? Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Next one. Also allowed to be mentioned in what? Trade dictionaries. What do you mean by trade dictionaries? Like Just Dial, Yellow Pages. वो आते ना अपन online if we'll see chartered accountants near me. So they give you the Just Dial. That kind of thing is allowed. Now this is the very confusing type of topic which you need to understand. Try to understand. Responding to tenders, just now I told you. Giving the reply to the tenders is allowed or not allowed? But little bit of detail may we will go. See, allowed if it is open for all professional, audit fees is also what? Prescribed. If that tender was open for what? All professional and the audit fees is already what? Prescribed. You are allowed to give the reply to that tender. When not allowed, if it is only and only exclusively for what? CAs to respond to such tenders which were reserved for the chartered accountants category only, and you are being covered for the which work? Audit and attestation work. Anybody can tell me what is the problem you have here as an ICA that they are not allowing you to respond to these tenders, and why they are allowing you to have a response to these tenders? Simple. See, here तो I can understand it was open for all. Open for all, मैंने भी reply कर दिया. It was open for CA, CS, CMA, LLB. Anybody can reply. I also replied. But there was one tender which were exclusively only for what? Why I'm not allowed to reply to that tender? Huh? Yes, yes, yes. You're clear. Minimum fees is not mentioned. Okay. And sorry, that is good for you, no? When the tender itself is only for CS, you are not reducing the competition. The asking person is reducing the competition. But my question is, he simply gave a tender. CS are allowed to reply to this tender, and you are replying to that tender. What is the problem in that? Think logically. Hmm? Any reason written over there? No, no. Simply same language is written. He not allowed. Okay. Anybody? Uh, uh. Yes, that can be. Now he's saying that if we'll start quoting our fees, what will happen? One will quote the lower than what? Another. Due to which your reputation may be on the stake, because people will like, yeah, what is this useless kind of profession? And just to get a work, they are putting their fees lower as an lower. Like in the tender system, whom do you select? So you should not show your lowest standard. As simple as that. Are you getting now? When it is exclusively meant for what? CS. Am I correct? But it is meant for what? All professional. In that case, you are not aware that how much another profession is charging. In that case, you are allowed to give what? Replies to those tenders. So just remember one thing. Tenders exclusively for what? CS. And you are replying to that tender, you are guilty. And when you are not guilty, for all the professional, and the audit fees is already what? Prescribed. Publication of book and article mein what is allowed? Name and designate. Have you ever seen CA VK Singhania chartered accountant? Can be written. But CA VK Singhania chartered accountant, firm address, firm name since 1965 something. That is allowed or not allowed? All those things are what? Not allowed. Seeking work from the another practicing CA? Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. Section 140 subsection 4 removal by members. What is that? Do you remember that we give the opportunity of being heard? Do we allow him to make a representation letter of reasonable length? Before circulation, we will circulate, and after circulation, if it come, we will invite him. So see, what is allowed? To defend your what? Removal, wishes to continue, expressing his integrity, objectivity and independence. In that letter, if you are writing these things, you are allowed. But in that letter, what is not allowed? Just now, yesterday we discussed. What is not allowed? Needless publicity is not allowed. Using the word defamatory words against the company is not allowed. Am I correct? Getting the work from what? Another CA. If a member gets any other professional work from the another member in practice who is doing the original this is also one very important thing. Say for example, she is a member in practice and I'm also a member in practice. She was very good in statutory audit. For the tax audit, she sent her client to me. तो मैंने बोला क्या आ जाते हैं मैडम, statutory audit भी I will do. Come to me. Am I correct? She came for which audit? Tax audit. But I told her how much she is charging. She said that 50,000. I will do half. 50% off. Give me 25, I'll do your stat audit also. Now tell me, is it ethical? Is it looking like a backstabbing the person who is helping you or not? That is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. That is what this point. Getting the work from what? Another C. See, if a member gets any work profession from the another member in practice who is originally what? Who is originally doing a professional work shall not be allowed to accept the original professional work already undertaken by such member. So should I accept? Acha, say for example, she sent me a client for a tax audit. That client is now asking me, sir, I am not satisfied with her. Please you continue. Should I accept now? Is there any guilty in this case? In this case also you are guilty. In this case also you are guilty. Or else take the prior permission of what? That member in practice ki your client itself is telling me to change the auditor. Do you have any you have any kind of objection in that case? Then in that case, if you are doing in a proper way, it's allowed. But otherwise, voluntarily you are accepting, okay, you don't like her, come to me and I'll do your which audit? Statutory audit. Then it is allowed or not. Even if the client wishes, then also you are what? Guilty. Now, giving the public interviews. So, say for example, if any NDTV asks me to come to on the board and talk about some taxation and all because budget came. So, what I'm allowed in that case? I'm allowed to display my name, display my designation, and display my firm name. Earlier, it was not allowed. What I'm not allowed is to highlight my what? Professional name. So I can say that I'm a C. Rohit Grover, chartered accountant in practice. This is my firm called Grover and Associates in Hyderabad located. Simple. Itna introduction based statement of I cannot tell you since 2010 or since 2013. What does that mean since? If I'm saying since 2013, what does that give the impression? Ki I am in the market since last how many years? 10 years. So I'm a more experienced one. So what is not allowed to highlight? Professional. Firm name is allowed. Designation is allowed. Name is allowed. PO box number. Prohibited to publish advertisement under the which number? PO box number. Website guidelines. Highly important. Point number 1. No format restrictions. No color restrictions. Members can create their own web page too. But it should be on a which technology? Pull technology. What is pull and push? Pull technology means, okay, you want to know about my firm, you want to know about careers in my firm, you want to know about the services I render, you have to press that button and then information should get pulled. It should not come like pop-ups. Pop-ups is called as push technology. That is allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. So what is allowed? Pull technology. Not to circulate information on their website via what? Email. Not to solicit to visit their what? You should not send an email to your client. Sir, एक बार वो website पे click करो ना. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Next one. What is allowed on your website? Member's name is allowed. Trade name, firm name, year of establishment on which basis? And then what? Members and firm address. Nature of services again on which basis? Pull basis. Partner's name, qualification, contact, email, year of qualification, areas of experience again on which basis? Pull 1. Employees same as what above. What you are applying to your partners is equally applicable for your employee. See, everything is push. No problem. It can be simply written. But area of experience has to be on which basis? Pull basis. Job vacancies allowed. You can also give the number of articles. But that is also again on which basis? Nature of assignments handled. Again on which basis? Pull technology. Client details and fee charge generally what? But there is one exception. What is the exception? Allowed only if it is requested by whom? Regulator. If a particular regulator has requested me ki I want you to display the name of your clients and the fees you charged, only with the permission of the regulator I am allowed to do for that time period till the time he is using my services. Now see, allowed only if requested by regulator within the description that it is displayed only as requested by whom? Regulator. Regulator's name, jurisdiction to be mentioned. Are you gonna everything you have to mention? Then only you are allowed to display the name of your clients along with their what? Fees. Next point is what? Logo allowed or not allowed? Allowed. But which logo? CA with a green color ka tick. That your own self-created logos are allowed? Not allowed. Next one, photo allowed. Which size? Articles, updates, amendments are also what? Allowed. Bulletin boards are also what? Allowed. Chat rooms are allowed among the members and clients only. Confidentiality has to be what? Considered. Make sure that you're not doing any talks on the chat box which are very much dangerous towards the confidentiality of your client's information. Advices, suggestions to the clients are also what? Allowed. Search engine is allowed on your website. Like you want to search something from my website only. Allowed. Only limited to the search of which courses? Professional courses and other professional bodies. Matlab, can I give the MCA link on my website? SEBI link? YouTube link? Instagram link? No, I'm asking my YouTube link. Arre, my YouTube link. Allowed or not allowed? Allowed, hai na, sir? My Instagram? My Telegram? Not allowed? The no gram is allowed, right? Next one. Adequate secrecy is to be what? Maintained. Database to other websites? Allowed. But with only the which facts? Bare facts. Banner advertisement, etc. What? Not allowed. What do you mean by banner? I told you na just now. Congratulations, AIR1. We are very proud of you. It's good that you got blessed by us. and you got the all India rank. This one is not allowed. Links to other professional bodies, government websites, ministry websites are what? Allowed. Publishing website address on professional document, visiting cards, letterheads are allowed. Shall remain, your website shall always remain up to date. Special stationery, etc. on the golden and diamond jubilee celebrations are not allowed. Suppose you cross 25 years. So we are opening your website and stars are coming. Hooray, we have completed 25. And you have specially designed one golden color visiting card, specially for that particular year to be distributed. So that is not allowed. Sponsorships again what? Not allowed. Above list of guidelines is not what? Exhaustive. Matlab, there are some other questions also ICA may create on its own, may ask you in the examination. Did you understand the guidelines relating to what? Section 6. Actually, section 6 is very much smaller as compared to what? Clause 7. Sorry, not section. Clause 6 is very much smaller as compared to what? Clause 7. Main rules actually comes where what? Clause number 7, which you can't digest. So thank you so much for lending your patient ears right now. And I'll borrow it again at 3 o'clock. Okay? So before leaving, tell me the 6 clauses. Allowing, sharing, accepting, partnership, securing professional work, soliciting the work from client. Which two things are allowed? In the clause. Because remembering the clause is very important, because when you write the answer, as per clause number this, part this and schedule, first you always write what? Provision of the clause. So remembering the heading of the clause is very important. Not telling you by heart it, word to word, but main content should be there. Now what was the content when we wrote second clause? Pays, agrees to pay. Allows, agrees to allow. To share, directly or indirectly, profits, commission, brokerage and benefits from their professional services to a person other than members, other than partner. Did you understand now? You have to make sure that the main content what the ICA is looking for should be placed in your answer. Not required to by heart everything and not required to write everything. Am I correct? But main content is required. So with that we are done with how many clauses? 6 clauses. So we are done with 111, 211, 311, 411. 511 and 611. 711 will take time. Remaining clauses, I think, if 3 will start max by 6:30, we'll be able to complete this professional ethics along with the council guidelines and measures as well. Right? After that, as I told you, we'll definitely go ahead with what? Peer review. Bring that document again, because total peer review, we are going to do it from that amendments document only. Extra things I will teach you later on. If the time will allow, we will also proceed as decided with QR as well. Quality review. Either of the peer review question definitely is going to come, because quality review very less chances this time, because whole chapter has been what? Revised. Right? Thank you so much. See you guys at 3. Bye everyone. Take care. सर वो क्लोज कर दो. अरे कौन गिर गया आज? फेल डाउन. अच्छा.